Good evening, CSA fans. I am McMaster. Alongside me tonight is Condra. Welcome to the the final major of the regular season for CSA's inaugural season. And we have had, Condra, what could arguably be the most ridiculous.
Dominating in quarterfinals though, so it's interesting to see Charlotte may have gotten more confident as this bracket went on, caught some heat even, and now they're here in the finals.
It is the most Cinderella of runs, if you will, coming through from the Comets, and the San Diego Sea Lions are going to try to shut it down. Both these teams were able to make top 8 during last major, but that was as far as they got. Now they find themselves in the grand finals. All we're doing right now is, waiting on the players to get themselves into the lobby, and as soon as they're in here, we'll get things rocking and rolling.
hmm And looking at some of the other brackets, novice, the Aces and Shred are facing off in semis. The Kings still waiting on, I believe, Rochester and Stallions. Rochester being the 1 seed, haven't lost a series the entire season, so most likely going to be the winner coming out of that one. But maybe the Stallions could find the upset.
I mean, yeah, who knows, right? Anything can happen. And as you had said, well, Rochester's been on this absolutely ridiculous one of going 15-0 in series during the regular season. However, did drop in the top 4 during the last major. So maybe the nerves of playing on such a big stage in the major could have an effect on how they play. Hopefully they're able to keep the run going, but if anything we've seen from Pro has any indication as to what this night could look like, we can see upsets left, right, and center. We've already seen some, considering a 13 and 16 seed have waltzed their way into the grand finals here in professionals. So I mean, who
Mhm.
knows? It's so hard to even try predicting what these teams are going to end up doing.
And something to look at. San Diego is just having a run this major. In the Academy bracket, they're through the quarterfinals. In Superstar, they're in semis as well. I mean, they are absolutely on a run here. I mean, professional finals, they are having quite the event.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, and I wish we had some more in-depth stats, see exactly what Charlotte is doing. I'm not sure if there's one specific person that has been popping off, or if it's just that the team has suddenly found their stride, but they're finding it at the right time because realistically, their season rides on this grand final. Let's make an assumption here and say that in professional, that the top 12 teams will get in with a bit of a play in, maybe say 9 through 12, whatever it may be. Maybe it's top 4 seeds get a bye, and then 5 through 12 end up competing in the first round. Whatever it is, Charlotte realistically has to win this grand finals to make it to the top 12 seeds. That is required in order for them to have a hope at the playoffs. So this win means absolutely everything to them. While on the side of the San Diego Sea Lions, it's very similar. They're at 13 right now. We haven't been able to factor in the major 2 points just yet, so they are likely to propel themselves, but they would still be playing for seeding. And obviously, the higher the seeding, the better matchup you're going to get. It is extremely important for both. I'd argue more so, though, for Charlotte.
And just to point something out, Milwaukee and Makos both made it in the uh into the eighth seed. Hmm? Oh, okay. Okay. well, just to put this into context, the 11th and 12th seed both made top 8, so they're both going to get plus 7 points. But that also means they're tied. So if Charlotte makes this upset and propels themselves into the 11th seed, then the 12th and 13th seed would be currently tied. Well, also San Diego is going to propel themselves higher because they're in grand finals. So actually, the 11th and 12th seed would now turn into the 13th and 14th seed if Charlotte wins. If Charlotte does not win, then they are currently the 12th and 13th, and they will be in a tiebreaker scenario in points.
It's such a mess, but somehow Charlotte and San Diego have found themselves on the better side of things now coming into this. And
Yeah,
it's
control your
if
own
you're
fate.
on yeah, if you're in the top of the division, you feel safe right now. Akron through say San Antonio Stallions have got to feel good for themselves. Top 1 through 6, they're clearly going to be making playoffs unless it's a 14 playoff, which I don't believe will end up being the case. But 1 through 6 can feel safe, while anyone from 7 all the way down till about 12 or so got to be quivering and shaking a little bit and feared that their playoff spot is going to be just stolen from them from a team that through the regular season hasn't necessarily earned it, at least by showing it, but through playoffs when it matters the most has been able to do that. So, I mean, if I'm, say, on the Atlanta Aces, I am worried about how tonight goes because San Diego could easily jump over top. Charlotte even could possibly get there. So it's a whole
Yeah,
mess to see what's going on.
and something to point out, this is just what San Diego does. They didn't have a good regular season, but during Major 1 they accrued the most points at 54. Now all their teams having another great Major 2. They just have the ice in San Diego apparently.
I guess that's the case. And Charlotte, again, just kind of deciding, oh, yeah, you know what? Let's just
We're gonna step
choose to
up.
pick it up right then and there.
Why
So,
not win?
right, absolutely. So, thankfully now, the lobby has been set. The players are ready. We are going to be competing on Champions Field because why not? This is the field of champions. We're going to go ahead and tell these players to get rolling, get playing, and we're going to have ourselves an incredible grand finals contra. I am so excited. A lot rides on this series. Set for 7. Could go the distance, could not. Only one way to find out, and that's by hitting the field.
Yeah, we're gonna see immediately this kickoff breaks out to Shig, has 100 views into the air, looks for it on target around Kadoku, around Omni Murders, unable to get it past though, and San Diego trying to start hot here. Jack Knight now into the midfield, tries to get it to Omni, but they're a little disconnected, so now it's gonna be a passing play to Kadoku, unable to make contact. Now Shig, around 1, all alone. Dark Galaxies has to do well here. The first solo play opportunity, but it just can't go in, and Kadoku cleans it up.
Back downfield, Monty's going to be able to intercept. Dark Galaxy's into the corner. Shig taking his time. A little bit of boost in the tank. We end up taking away into the corner. Omni Murderers up top. Taken away by Jack Knight now off the backboard. Dark Galaxy's looking to circle back and say Kadoku with a bit of a miscommunication. Likes to take the pass back to his own corner. Intercepted by Jack Knight towards the ceiling. Out front, Monty not going to be able to capitalize on the shooting opportunity. will be cleared over the top. Early pressure now coming through on the side of the sea line. Shig has a shot, and he's got the first for San Diego.
Straight to that bottom corner. I believe he ground pitched it. A little bit of creativity to get around the defense here. He did. Omni Murder saw it go one way, then all of a sudden went to the bottom right, able to get the first goal for the Sea Lions.
And that's a crucial goal at that. Great job striking first and striking early at that within the first minute. Looking to add on to the lead now is Jack Knight, looking for the double. Has it the crossfield, but not able to get the shot on target. Not able to find a teammate as well in the passing lane. It'll be Omni Murderers up against one, up against Jack Knight. Doesn't fall for the fake. Will now take his time over the top of one from the ceiling. Shig now, extra touch into the corner. Jack Knight once more, following with boost. Trying to get a reset. It's out in front. Awkward. Monty had a shot, but does set it just too high. Shig will try to retreat.
And yeah, I think my player to watch, especially on this comment side, would be Kudoku. He's very mechanical, very self-sufficient, able to pass the ball as well as Omni Murders puts it into the bottom.
And a good response back coming through from Charlotte. Bottom corner just under Shig. You know, if I'm in that position, I'm doing the same exact thing as Shig. He had low boost, kind of felt pressured to make a decision, chose to try to cover high, and it was read perfectly by the shooter of Omni Murderers. Now 1 goal apiece as the game is tied here early on. Immediate demo comes through against Jack Knight. Kudoku up top now against Monty. Trying to play the 50. Gets around one, but not around Shig. Off the sidewall. Dark Galaxies. No read afforded to him. Jack Knight's going to take it across to the other side of the field as Kudoku clears.
Yeah, and Monty, you know, he's been looking good on the ball as he's trying to make it happen here. Air dribble past one, can't get it past Kudoku though, who holds strong on the goal line, gets another 50. And this game has been back and forth here. Both teams willing to commit both players upfield, both teams willing to look for the passes in field that could get intercepted, lead to counterattacks. They're not being scared right now. The nerves aren't showing. They're both playing great Rocket League. As now Jack Knight on target, but Dark Galaxies has it away off the post. Now Omni Murders by himself, 0 boost, can't get it around Shig though, a brave challenge. Jack Knight, 100 boost, the whole team is demoed. Shig clears out the net, and the Sea Lions get to 2-1.
That's an important lead. I have just received information as I'm looking both at our stream and confirming with Nuki, thank you for producing, that the Comets actually already won game 1 and we are in game 2. So the Sea Lions are trying to answer back and have been able to now claim their second lead of the game as we just cross over the halfway point of game 2. It's Monty looking possibly to get another, but Kudoku has it read and will send it into the corner. Dark Galaxies now with boost to work with over the top. Has so much boost to work with, but cut off immediately by Shig. The pace starting to come through from the Sea Lions, but they are not able to capitalize on this offensive possession. It's interesting, the Comets were able to take game 1. It's a good start for the 16 seed, but the Sea Lions are in a good position to answer back.
Yeah, the Sea Lions have been looking good this game. You know, the possessions have looked nice, able to get demos on the board, able to pass the ball well, able to take possession when needed. They're really playing a really controlled game of Rocket League on offense, and on defense, they're quick as can be, as now they find each other. Shig down on target, but Kudoku has it saved. Monty, his touch a little away from himself though, unable to control the ball maybe the way he wanted to. Omni able to get around one, tries to find Dark Galaxies mid, but the Sea Lions just cut it out, and now Monty tries to get it on target, but double commit. Monty takes it back to the corner to reset.
Sea Lions have been playing with a good amount of pace and have used that pace to apply a lot of pressure offensively. Now starting to come back against him as Omni Murderers has a pass towards Kudoku, but Monty has it read. Jack Knight gets the extra touch into the corner, making things awkward, gets demoed for his troubles as well. Now Omni Murderers up top. Over the top of Shig. Jack Knight out towards the sidewall. In search of a double tap. Does not have it. It's over the top. Dark Galaxy shot on target. Finds its way through. Comets even up again.
And the Comets have looked so good outside the box. Just able to find it on target. Able to find it with power. The defense has no chance at that. Dark Galaxy has slotted that top corner.
That was a fantastic shot. 2-2. Now with only 1:07 left, honestly, the next goal could end up being the game winner. Neither team willing to make a mistake to allow the other to come through, and it's a good opportunity coming through in front for the Comets. 2 players commit, however. Omni Murderers tries getting a shot, but with no boost, it's too light. Dark Galaxies to redirect off the backboard, cleared out wide by Shig, which will find its way towards Jack Knight. To the backboard, Kudoka, no touch, but Dark Galaxies has a crucial clear. Monty's low on boost can get back in time. Close calls on both sides of the field, but we remain in level.
Yeah, and you can see here the Comets playing a more run and gun type of offense, you know, whoever can go will go, while the Sea Lions trying to control it more, trying to find each other one at a time. Let's see if we can control the pace of the game. Now Shig off the backboard looks for the double, unable to have it though, just a little past him. Now Kadoku goes upfield, Dark Galaxies pass, but Jack Knight just cuts it out at midfield, just trying to control the ball, but with 13 seconds left, they need a goal now, otherwise they're gonna find OT in game 2.
Dropping down in front. Omni Murderers. Light pop up. Taken away by Jack Knight. They're retreating. Kadoka's trying to have one strong offensive possession. Monty to shut it down. Omni Murderers does not have the touch from the sidewall. Overtime in game number 2. Right away off kickoff. On the cheat, Kadoka gets demoed. And Shake chooses to play the 50, but Omni Murderers is there, finding the back of the net a mere 6 seconds in. Comets now up 2 in the series.
Great 50 off of the kickoff, never gave up on the play, and Omni Murderers has slotted that bottom corner, takes advantage of the defense just not being prepared yet off a kickoff, and the Comets up 2-0 in the series, leading.
That is massive. That is a huge win. I'm stunned at what I'm seeing at the moment. It felt like, just off of the eye test alone, that this felt like the Sea Lions game. It felt like it was in their hands. They had a lot more offensive possessions, more time in the blue half of the field. But I guess that doesn't matter. All that matters is the amount of times that ball crosses over the goal line. For the Comets, it was more. 3-2, the final score in this second game. The Comets now 2 games away from a potential sweep, which is absolutely mental. That, again, the 16 seed is coming in and doing these to teams that they haven't been able to beat during the regular season. I'm stunned.
Yeah, just looking to make a statement here, I guess, you know. Just when your back's against the wall, how do you perform? And the Comets looking to perform the best. Get first place, see what happens afterwards. As Omni Murderers has it high, looks to Dark Galaxies, a good passing play just to cut through the midfield. Jack Knight a little awkward off this back wall, but he's done well. Kadoku now touch midfield. Big 50, Jack Knight, will he lay this off to Shig? He does. Double tap attempt. He couldn't get it last game, and that was really the difference. I think the clinicism on the side of Comets, they may have had less opportunities, but every opportunity was just finding the back of the net, being dangerous, on target at least. And now Shig looks for a midfield. Can't get it around Omni Murderers. Jack Knight, low boost. This could be awkward, but once again, just a little bit of midfield play, finding each other on defense, able to stop this offense from really flourishing. Now Kadoku to the left side, 100 boost. Options, decides to take himself. Air dribble, can't get it around. Dark Galaxy's unable to make the touch. Jack Knight now counterattack into the air, could get a reset. Awkward touch though, can't get it around Omni Murderers. Shig, 50, Monty to Shig, who has it high. Shig, one more, no. Jack Knight looks for it. And still, on the side of the Comets, they look composed, but on the side of the Sea Lions, able to also look extremely composed.
Yeah, this has been a very even third game. Good adjustments made by both teams thus far to keep the other in check. But I would say that you're absolutely right about how clinical the offense was on the side of the Comets. The quality over quantity, yeah, that's a mathematical equation that does work when it comes to gaining success in Rocket League. It's not that you need 8 attempts, it's that you need one successful one, which is what ultimately, as you'd said, led to the Comets winning that second game. They are now 2 games up in the series. However, in this game, we still find ourselves even at 0 apiece. Omni Murder is going to just take his time, try to play 50. It's actually left off to Kadoka around 1, all the way downfield. It's going to be intercepted by Monty. It ends up being a pass towards Jack Knight to redirect to the backboard. The creativity is there right now on the side of San Diego, but they cannot break through.
Just can't break through, but an opportunity there just got awry once again. They're being disciplined on defense, able to take what the offense will give them eventually on the counterattacks as he looks for a double, but just can't get it on target off the bar. Omni Murderer, 0 boost, looks in field, tries to get it on target. Shig has it away. Jack Knight now touched, the required. He's done well. Kadoku now 100 boost on defense. Just takes his time, and once again, the Sea Lions getting taunted here in front of the goal line. They just wait for one to commit so the counterattack can be more deadly. Now, Galaxies can't get it around. Monty, who has 20 boosts in the air, able to just bang it down right side of the field. Kadoku looks one more, unable to get it. Omni Murderers looks into the air, flip reset, but can't make contact, so Jack Knight will have. Kadoku has it high. Monty, touch, left wall, but once again, the San Diego Sea Lions just getting taunted on offense.
Yeah, and it looked for a sec like it looked like the Comets had finally found themselves an opportunity or two, but they were the ones this time with some light inaccuracies that led to the offense not breaking through the defense. But this is a good opportunity, but Kadoku sending it high. I guess just trying to create another opportunity for a teammate. It looked like a shooting lane was available, but electing instead to play conservatively to send it off the backboard. And then now Jack Knight will have to go all the way back to the backboard. Omni Murderers is up. Good deflection from Jack Knight to turn it away. 90 seconds left. Neither team with anything on the board. Monty's touch is an awkward one for the defense. Two players are up. It's Monty and Shig. Dark Galaxies with a shot, not on target. Jack Knight putting the ball in front of his net, and he's going to pay for it. Omni Murderers finds the first.
I mean, you can't place the ball better. Dark Galaxies threatened the defense looking shaky, and I said game 2 that they looked a little nervous, or looked rather very composed. In game 3 now, they look a little nervous on defense. Both teams on offense as well, not willing to take as many opportunities, but I think that favors the Comets because they've been more clinical, able to find the back of the net once again off a kickoff.
That is a massive goal, a 2-0 lead, a brace now coming through on the side of the Comets. Looking to go onto sweeping point. Again, I must reiterate, the 16th seed are doing this at the moment. One regular season series win, and then suddenly during Major 2, they decided, okay, you know what? Maybe it's worth playing our best. This has been a whole other level to the Comets that we were not used to seeing throughout the rest of the season. With only a minute to go, we're gonna make it 3. That's Omni Murderer's second goal. The team's third. The Sea Lions are gonna be down to their last life.
The Sea Lions unable to find the defense when it matters, and on the side of the Comets, they've just been so clinical, so willing to shoot the ball on target, not nervous whatsoever. The big moment comes in front of them. The lights are not too bright. They don't shine away. And now Omni Murderers just takes his time, looks for it past another 3-0. It's looking to be a 3-0 in the series if the Sea Lions can't make a miracle happen here.
With 40 seconds left, the time's not going to slow down for them. They need something immediately if they want to fight back and try to stay away from a sweeping point. It's a good opportunity out in front, but the players are out of position and low on boost. 30 seconds left. The demo could open up some opportunities as Shig is going to have a good recovery off the sidewall. One more touch off the corner, read by Kadoku. And now Dark Galaxies into the corner once again, just simply wasting time, trying to play keep away with the ball. Kadoku, another one to clear out wide, but with only 15 left to go, it is going to be too little too late. The Comets on to sweeping point in the Major 2 Grand Finals.
I think on the side of the Sea Lions, this is a wake-up call. You need to stop being so modest on offense. They haven't really been going for much, haven't been going for... Oh, that hurts. That hurts to be stopped on the goal line. Can't even get that to fall for you, but you need to stop being modest on offense. Go for it. It's now or never. You have to make good shots happen. You have to try scary plays that may be risky, may lead to counterattacks, because at the end of the day, you just haven't been able to get the offense started.
And I think honestly one of the things that I need to see on the side of the Sea Lions, less creativity. I like that they are trying to be creative and cause more authentic, organic opportunities for themselves. However, the creativity has taken away the quality of the shots that they have been taking. What they need is to get back to basics. Look for those infield passes. Try to set up teammates off the back. You don't have to go for double taps all the time. You don't need to solo it. Rely on your teammates. This is a team game. You got here with your teammates' help. You have to try to win with them as well. Stop going solo. Stop being as creative. Get back to the basics. The basics are what are winning. Look at the Comets. It's been the recipe for success for them.
And I think what happens when you're nervous, you go back to the basics, or not the basics, you go back to your muscle memory. Because right now, they're just all solo playing, trying to go for crazy shots, things in free play you would go for, but right now you have to start thinking about the comms, start thinking, okay, my teammate just said they're left, maybe I should hit it in that direction, rather than just shooting it on target, because once again, the quality has not been there. Jack Knight forcing his way through the midfield, flip reset, tries to go low, double commit though on the side of the Sea Lions is going to relieve some of the pressure. Still in on the play, Kadoku was forced to make that touch. Omni Murderers now the other end, Galaxies in transition, can't get it in. And in Game 4, the Comets already had a threatening opportunity, but still held 0-0. The Sea Lions forces their way into the quarter. Kudoku, 100 boost, leaves it for Omni Murderers. Triple commit on defense, but Kudoku still in the correct position, able to make the touch, able to stall time. And these 50s on the side of the Comets have been frustrating the Sea Lions, just unable to make progress sometimes on offense rather, against this defense.
And still nothing again. And as time continues to go on, there's been over a game in 90 seconds extra of not scoring from the Sea Lions. The offense is losing confidence, and you can kind of see it. They're trying what they can, but seemingly none of it works, and now you have double commits coming through as well, to where all three players are out of position. This is a good opportunity, however, off the double commit defensively. Monty with one touch, Jack Knight to follow, wins the 50, but Kudoku's still in good position, and the rest of the team on the Sea Lions is not. Now, with only 3 minutes to go, towards the backboard, looking for the double. Coming through is Omni Murders. That might as well be the dagger.
And these passes have been deadly. Kudoku to Omni Murderers in midfield. Nobody up quickly. Hand down, man down. Into the net. 1 goal up. The Comets looking to sweep in the finals.
I'm so stunned, and I'm certain the Sea Lions have to be stunned even more so. Heck, the entire professional division has to feel this way, because this is the last seed. This is the lowest tiered seed of the whole division, and they are dominating in the grand finals. Where has this been the rest of the regular season? I'm not sure, and that's not for me to try to figure out. Right now, though, the recipe for success has been shown. The Comets know the blueprint, they know what to do, and they're playing with the utmost confidence in themselves and in their teammates. This has been absolutely a grand finals winning performance coming through from them.
Yeah, I mean, the Comets looking incredible as the Sea Lions just stuck on the goal line, isolated. The passes have come through. I'm pretty sure every goal for the Comets has been assisted. No solo plays. Everybody getting a piece of the pie, and it's showing here in the finals.
What else are you supposed to do in a 3v3 game? You can't expect to go 1v3 or 1v2 in however many situations and expect to come out on top. Relying on your teammates, they're showing, is the way to play this game, and they're doing it to the utmost success right now. Kudoku's even trying to make it another as it's centered out in front. Shig does have a touch over the top. Now Dark Galaxies does have to retreat. Jack Knight has an opportunity. He'll send it high, but again, Dark Galaxies just has it read. Right now, the Comets, it almost seems as though they're inside the comms of the Sea Lions, listening to what plays they're trying to develop. They just have everything unlocked. Every read is being made.
And I think on the side of the Comets, the most impressive thing might not be the offense as they get another here, 3-0, but I think the defense by the Comets, because it's just been most of the time, one at a time, will force a 50, wait for the offense to eventually give up on the play. They don't have enough boost, they can't stay forever, and eventually get a counterattack, get the offense going for us, just one at a time once again. And I said before it was more run and gun in Game 2, but ever since it's been so controlled for the Comets, just putting the ball in the perfect places on offense, able to find another 4-0 in the finals, 4-0 looking to sweep.
This is an unbelievable showing, and I don't want to highlight a specific person because it has been a complete team effort, but Omni Murderers has been that offensive weapon that has not been able to be stopped this entire series. This is a hat trick. Last game, he had 2 goals. He had the double to start out this game, even looking for more up against Shig, but regardless, he has been the catalyst for these offensive plays. An outstanding performance, not just from him, but obviously both from Dark Galaxies and Kudoku as well. Could not be done without them, and with a minute 30 left, what else is there really to say? Obviously, I don't want to be overglazing this team, but they've absolutely earned it. They've been playing exceptionally, and there's not much more that can be said that hasn't already been said.
Shig gets a goal, trying to maybe muster a comeback, and you did need a goal right about now. There'd be no chance if you don't get a goal within a minute here, because, being 4-0 down with only a minute left, it's just mentally uncomebackable. It just has, physically, it feels uncomebackable. Now, you get a little momentum, see maybe off the kickoff if they overcommit, get a little overzealous as they do here. Now Jack Knight into offense. Dark has to make a good touch. Jack Knight, that touch just gives the ball away though. And with that, I feel like their chances are done. Kudoku trying to make it another no. Can't find the double. Jack Knight, 100 boosts. Now or never. You need this play to be a hero play. They just get tangled up on offense. And with that, I feel the Comets have done it in the finals.
Yeah, limited time on the clock. The seconds are going to continue to tick down. They would need a goal, I would say, honestly, within the next few seconds. Try to give yourself time because you not just need one, but you need two more after that as well. But the Comets have played too strong. They've been too consistent. They've had the reads. They haven't been tangling themselves up offensively or defensively. This has been a well-rounded, well-deserved performance on the side of the Comets, and they are going to lock it down. Ladies and gentlemen, from absolutely nothing, the Charlotte Comets have shown up and taken this major from everybody as Omni even gets a fourth. 5-1 in Game 4, perfectly encompassing how the whole series has gone.
Yeah, you know, Comets are made of ice, and they showed it here in Major 2, able to clutch it out, win the finals, huge seeding implications, everybody's going to be moving around, the Comets can only move up. Shooting Stars coming through, Kadoku makes it one more on 0, because why not? The Comets win the finals 4-0 in dominant fashion.
And as if we didn't emphasize like how much the team had worked together. I mean, the Comets had, every single player had an assist. 5 assists out of 6 goals. Unbelievable showing, and let me give respect to the Sea Alliance, not just for being, obviously, you know, for having a great run. You know, 13th seed in the grand finals is extremely impressive as well, but for also being very good sports about it. Much respect to the Sea Lions. It was a great run. Their run will end in the grand finals, unfortunately on the wrong side of history, but the Charlotte Comets, from the absolute depths of the division, shock everybody and take the series in 4. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, just unbelievable stuff coming from the Comets here.
All congratulations have to go to them. I can't even imagine what else we can say about it. They earned it. 4-0 being the final score of the series. And, you know, Omni Murderers MVP has to go to him, at least in my personal opinion. He seemed to be scoring everything. He was not just hitting the simple shots, he was hitting double taps, setting up teammates with assists. He had an outstanding series. Charlotte Comets, from nowhere, able to get a win here in Major 2. They were top 8 last time, struggled during the regular season, and then everything just clicked. And that's ultimately what you need. Things need to go the right way at the right time, and that's the Comets winning 4-0. And even according to the chat, I didn't know this. Thank you, Wi-Fi, for the information. The Comets have over doubled their points for the whole season tonight, which is outrageous to me. But, you know, regardless of that fantastic job by the Comets. We're going to take a quick break. When we do return, we will end up going to the Superstar Grand Finals. There's still a little bit of time waiting on the teams waiting to see who exactly the teams will be. Right now, we have the Baltimore Boxers up against the Miami Makos and the New Orleans Nightmares against the San Diego Sea Lions. Might even have 2 Sea Lions appearances in the Grand Finals. So just a matter of time to figure out who we'll see up next. I've been McMaster. That's Condrel. We'll be back shortly.
Bye.
shit on the headlight. Dropping that shit on the headlight.
Both teams exchanging blow after blow until finally New Orleans clutches up, takes game 7, and forces their way into the finals here. I mean, I am flabbergasted with how that broke down.
Wow, that is to hold your nerve when you get pushed back into that spot. It's so easy to just kind of shell up and then from there give up hope because oh no, these guys have all the momentum now. For the Nightmares to do that, that is a huge testament to their will and their desire to win it. And now we have their opponent. It will be the 3 seed Miami Makos. The Baltimore Boxers at 16 did make a run to the top 4, but their run will end there as a 4-2 win from the Makos comes through. We have our finalists set in stone.
Man, oh God, this is going to be a great series. Both teams, you're getting absolute incredible mechanics. I've seen the Makos play before. They play exceptionally well off the ground. So it's going to be really interesting to see who can dominate the skies here.
It's going to be a fantastic battle of two pretty highly seeded teams, and they are both, again, assuming that it is the top 8 that make the postseason. Both teams have already fully qualified and earned their spots in the postseason. However, Miami is looking to use this major to leapfrog the Denver Shred. And even New Orleans has an opportunity to move up into the top 4 with a victory here. We'll see how exactly the postseason or how the major 2 points factor into the rest of their season. But ultimately, all we got to wait on right now is the players go ahead and hit the field because I'm ready. I'm excited. This is going to be a fantastic match of 2 teams now playing for seeding and a little bit of bragging rights, if you will.
Oh, sorry, I'm still riding the high from the last series. I'm still absolutely flabbergasted because yeah, it was insane. Like to see the New Orleans team get pushed back to a game 7, and then they played down the entire series. They actually had to get a game equalizer with 16 seconds left on the board
Wow.
just to force an overtime, and then to go almost a full minute in OT, finally get the play they needed to just break through that San Diego Sea Lions defense. I'm just so flabbergasted.
So if you're on the side of New Orleans, how do you carry that kind of fight from last series into this one? You know, it was a long, drawn out 7-game series that could have honestly probably ended in 5 based on the 3-1 lead that they had, and then had to fight tooth and nail to get that last second goal, not even a win, to force overtime to then play extra time. How do you reset yourselves and or carry momentum into this series?
Was gonna say, definitely don't reset yourself. Rocket League is a very momentum based game. We've seen it in series where a team will get hot and they'll ride it all the way through. Let it ride. Let it ride. Hype up your teammates. Let them know, hey, we just doubled down. We strengthened up. We clutched out and we won our series. Let's ride that wave through the next. And hopefully they'll be able to utilize that momentum to just take a championship here.
Hey, it's going to
Hopefully.
be pretty crazy. I'm excited for it. That is for sure. I'm just waiting. Yeah, I guess we are waiting on the players at this point in time. Um, I'm hoping for 7, especially after last series. Obviously, you were busy witnessing greatness last series. The series we got to see from the professional division was outrageous because for one, it was the 13 seed San Diego Sea Lions up against the 16 seed Charlotte Comets in the grand
Holy
finals.
cow.
Yup. And Charlotte swept San Diego, the 16 seed, with no playoff hopes for the season. Swept the grand finals to just say, "Oh yeah, we're capable of winning a major." I guess we just didn't want to win the regular season. So that's what happened last series.
That's
Madness in a totally
absurd.
other sort of the word, or a different other definition of the word. But we got one team. We're just waiting on the second, and we should have our players ready to go. Going to be incredible regardless.
I'm absolutely flabbergasted to see a 13th and you said 16th seed, bottom of the barrel in the seed
Yep.
rankings, pushing their way into the finals. I mean, brother, that is just what you love to see. But I mean, come on. It's CSA. Everybody's a great player in this league. We know a lot of the talent we get, especially at the superstar level play and even higher at the world class level play. You're getting players who they've been around the block a little bit. They're definitely cream of the crop and they're definitely going to pop off at any moment. So, I mean, 16th seed, yeah, but that's just a testament to how much parity's in this league.
I mean, and you can even look at the stats. They should not have been there. They had 17 points on the season, which they had one series win. One series win,
What?
13 and 43 in terms of game differential, and just decided to rip everyone apart in the major. Guys,
You
you're
know
right.
what
The parody is there. I don't understand how it happens. It does not make sense. And yet Charlotte did it anyways, just kind of to say, yeah, you know what? Yeah, we're capable.
Well, it looks like the wait is going to be no more. The Makos have arrived. It's going to be Miami versus New Orleans here. Game one set to be underway. Hopefully, they're not waiting for us because I know we're definitely waiting on them. I'm ready to see absolute incredible plays here. McMaster, do you want to kick us off?
Oh, absolutely. I'll go ahead and take full advantage of that. No, I will shout. I'm going to keep my personal bias here, but I will shout out Averted. Wait, we were missing one.
Uh-oh.
What?
Not sure what's going on here. You know what? They haven't called for a remake yet. A goal would change that eligibility immediately.
Okay,
Averted.
never mind. There's Jimmy.
Oh, I guess. All right. Well, it is what it is. Evan. Oh, bit of a miss opportunity here. Averted coming off the sidewall. Possibility to push it over for Buosa, but it's going to be a little bit too high and a little too far. Evan, deep touch here. 30 seconds already be played. I'm kind of surprised, McMaster, that they didn't take a remake, having one player off the pitch to begin.
Or at least told us that they didn't have everyone here, but I guess, you know, when you're confident in how you're playing, you got to continue rolling with it. I mean, they didn't concede, so I'm not going to entirely question it right now. But regardless of that, they're actually now looking to possibly score first as Jimmy looks to set up off the ceiling on the drop down. It is read out in front by Buosa. It'll be taken away now by Insanity. Averted the 50 and a Rule 1 into the corner. An effective 2v2 within the first minute of the Superstar Finals.
That's kind of dangerous for New Orleans. Averted has been everything for his team through the last two series. Buosa knew immediately, goes through, breaks that Rule 1, doesn't want to let one of his best players be locked down for a Rule 1 early on. Averted looking for a touch off the sidewall here. Buosa unable to get back to the ball. It's going to be a dangerous spot, but the post, unforgiving as always, is going to clear that deep for them. Averted, not a lot of boost in the tank, collects the 100, splits the 50, and Evan is going to, no, Buosa is going to be able to follow that. McMaster, 3:20 to be played. A little bit of zaniness going on early on, kind of wild for a finals, but, you know, it's beautiful to watch nonetheless.
Yeah, look, again, we had the player who wasn't here when we started, which we didn't realize. I thought that everyone was here, but I was entirely wrong. Then we had a Rule 1 that ended up being broken. It's been chaos, that is for sure, to say the least, through the first 2 minutes of this game. Both teams just trying to find their footing and figure out the other's weaknesses so that they can exploit them and try to get the first lead of this grand finals. Taking his time is T out in front of net. With a reset, it is a light touch. Buosa taken away by Insanity. Averted the pop-up, limited boost, but does get 50'd away by Jimmy. Up next is Evan. Off the sidewall, looking for an extra touch. Limited boost, does get a touch, but T does deny out wide. Halfway through the game, neither team able to break through just yet.
Buosa letting it play a little bit slower. Insanity is going to quickly elevate, put that high off the back wall. Jimmy's looking for a shot on target. Averted. Oh, Averted got the first save, but couldn't quite regain composition to make a second. Kind of wild, though. Averted, I don't want to say it was based on rotation. I want to say it was based on just general defensive game sense. Through game 6 of the semifinals, had 7 saves. Incredible positioning led to a lot of extensions on defense, and we're going to probably see that continue here.
And the only problem is, though, he was able to get a save there. Ultimately, the rebound still was available for T to capitalize upon, but now there's an opportunity out in front on the side of the, of the Nightmares. Just hesitated, my bad there. It'll be Insanity to take it up top. Now left up top for Jimmy, to the sidewall. Possible second touch is there. Trying to pass out towards T. Intercepted by Averted. Insanity up against Buosa. Kept neutral at the 50 towards the ceiling. Evan kicked out wide. No shooting opportunity available for teammates. Buosa back down to the blue half again. Evan is there first. It's a pass back, but no teammate is available. And for the time being, the Makos will remain ahead.
Oh, dangerous spot here. Evan Averted. A little bit of a miscommunication as both dive into the ball here. Evan, a little bit of boost, tries to follow, but Jimmy gets a very favorable pop. Might be positioning, looking a little bit more aggressive than they really were with no beans in the tank. A quick pop for Averted, though, is going to keep that out of the New Orleans net and out of a harm's way shot. Evan gets underneath, looking for a 45 flick. Buosa pops it to the left here. Averted with a quick follow. It's going to be off the corner. Evan opts to back off the shot. Sorry, Buosa opts to back off the shot here. A little bit of a a little bit of a difference here. In the semifinals, they were diving back into the competition. I wonder if they're giving more respect and more room for this Makos team.
Well, they definitely are. It feels as though the higher quality offensive possessions have been there on the side of the Makos, while for the Nightmare, still kind of searching and waiting for the defense to make a mistake. But at this level, those mistakes are going to be very hard to come across. Organic opportunities are going to be everything during this series. And so far, the only team with an opportunity like that has been the Makos, and they were able to put it away. They're possibly looking for a second, but Blos is able to take it away, eliminate possession for the time being. T playing patient against Averted. Now Evan to the sidewall. That does have a second touch in the corner. One more round Insanity, not afforded to him. Averted cut off by Insanity. Wosa, shot, Jimmy, save out wide, 20 seconds to go, and the Nightmares need something quick.
All right, with 17 seconds left to be played, they're only going to maybe get one more opportunity offensively. Averted takes a deep touch, trying to get past the back line of T, but T's going to pop that off the ceiling here. Wosa, not a lot of boost in the tank, might not be able to keep this play alive. Does, gets the touch. 2 seconds left here. Evan can't quite get there. It was 0 seconds left to be played. It's going to be a dangerous spot for New Orleans.
Now Wosa tried hitting the ball in the corner, but it does find contact with the ground. The first game being a nail biter more than anything else. 1-0 is an extremely close score line, and if I may reiterate, Mako started the first 30 seconds of this game without a third player. I still don't necessarily understand it. It is not for me to understand. All that I do know is that Miami take game number 1-0.
No, it looks like they're going to utilize potentially that whole minute, maybe talk it over a little bit. It's kind of wild. The entirety of our semifinal series, both teams were very eager to jump right back into the action. I wonder if maybe the Makos were expecting more offensive opportunities against this New Orleans team. But we'll see. We'll see going into game 2 here what they're going to be able to pull off, what they're going to be able to manufacture after this small timeout they're almost taking.
Oh, I chose the wrong map. Shoot. Hold on a sec.
Oh, Dark Farmstead? No, there's no way.
No, reset this.
Reset. Reset.
Oh, man. My apologies. That's on me.
Halloween.
Blame me. Don't blame Prod. I'm in charge of the lobby there. My fault. My fault. I was in the middle of switching over to the next, and it ended up just locking me in before I could get it. All right, we'll get it back.
Sandy Shores daytime.
Happens.
Sandy Shores daytime. Put that on there.
Starbase Arc while I'm at it.
Oh God.
The Arctagon specifically. I miss the old Octagon.
Specifically. Oh my God, that's disgusting.
I'm so sorry about that. My apologies. Now we're on the correct map. This is much more acceptable and frankly much more visually appealing to the eyes. The Nightmares may have, although I guess I would have been giving the Nightmares home field advantage on Farmstead night. Farmstead Spooky, it actually was titled, so interesting field choice by me. My apologies. Regardless of that, game 2 is going to be underway, and right away, Averted does have a dribble. Only Insanity left to beat. It's a 3-on-1 opportunity with the flick over the top. It is going to be goal number 1 for the Nightmares.
Averted's my goat. What an incredible flick. And to have a player like T, somebody you know has incredible pace on your backside, and you know you need to maintain control quickly to rapidly turn, these are plays you're only going to see out of Superstar. An incredible level of ball control, you know, that you might not see from a lower tier like an Academy or a Novice. But it's all the same. I love to see it, and I love to see New Orleans getting a little bit of love here on the scoreboard, having been shut out in the entirety of last match.
And I'll shout out Averted as well. I was going to mention earlier before recognizing that it was a 2v3 in game 1 that I'd actually had the opportunity to meet Averted at Worlds back in September. Oh, wonderful person to talk to and a wonderful player as well, setting up Evan out in front off the double from the corner.
My goodness. This is the kind of chemistry we're talking about in New Orleans. They're looking for that next play. They're looking for that next pass. They're not trying to take the difficult shots. They're just trying to get one more pass, make the defense a little bit more uncomfortable, and take the easy goals. And it's paid off the entirety through the quarters, the semis, and now through 2 goals in the final, well, 1 goal in the final so far. Averted just being better. Evan turning into the not a very favorable touch here as Insanity's going to be able to follow. Oh, a little too high on that pinch off the side, off the backboard, and that's going to be pushed away from danger.
Now T looking to set up the teammates. Insanity up early, but Evan will be able to clear out wide to the sidewall. Boosting the tank as well with control. Jimmy up first, keeping the corner. D in the same position. The double commit proves to be awkward, especially with the double coming through. Averted playing the patience game, tries leaving it for a teammate, but there's a miscommunication. Not sure who was at fault, but it does not matter. It is a mistake all the same. And now Jimmy looks to capitalize, going underneath one. Evan does have the read and the sidewall double as well. Wosa with the bump, averted a solo effort. Not going to take the reset. Alexa drop down. It does get blocked out by Insanity. Evan now, infield pass. Jimmy and T with the double commit. I do not like what I'm starting to see from the Makos. Having multiple players commit is a recipe for disaster, especially in the grand finals. You can't be doing that when down two.
You definitely can't, and it's a lot of it's going to be the pressure that's being applied by New Orleans. You know, you start getting punched in the mouth a little bit there, and you kind of have to go, hey, we need to change up our pace a little bit, and maybe get thrown off your game, make some bad rotations, make some bad communications. But with 3:07 left to be played here, Evan looking for that touch off the sidewall. There's nobody to play defense. Insanity's going to have to make a touch here. Does, passes it back to TT, takes it off the backboard, and now Insanity's going to be able to quickly initiate a counterattack. Both players once again double committing for the touch. I'm not sure really what's going on. It's got to be the pressure being applied.
Yeah, there's no other reason for it. Either that or it's just the fact that, you know, you have a bit of nerves being down 2-0. You didn't concede in game one and then immediately found yourselves down 2 within the first 40 seconds of this game. That is plenty of pressure being applied by the by the Nightmares against the Makos. It might be one finally on the board, but it's still not going to come through. Plenty of offensive pressure coming through, but instead it is a clear back down into the blue half. T looking for a pass out towards Insanity, who collects the mid boost. It's another pass towards Jimmy, but he's left on nothing in his reserves. Will retreat, and we'll start the possession over again. Evan with one touch, Insanity now to follow. Boosting the tank towards the corner. Corner double is there, but Averted has another touch hard off the sidewall. Right now, the Nightmares just have everything unlocked, and it seems as though Averted just kind of needed that warm-up game, as now he's starting to find his stride.
Ooh, Insanity, awkward spot here. Tries to leave for Jimmy. Jimmy with not a lot of boost is going to have to try and keep this play alive. Averted, not sure. Bilosa tries to get a pop past center, but that was just a little bit too much pop and not quite enough pass as that flies straight up into the air. T putting it off the sidewall here. Bilosa does not want to let that develop whatsoever. They had the midfield. They were not going to be allowed the back post as he cleared that deep across the pitch. Evan leaving it for a teammate here. Bilosa tries to get the shot on, but no mustard. And we are going to stay 2-0.
Possible opportunity for Jimmy. Averted to turn away. T does have boost and is up against Averted first. The bounce off the sidewall proves to be awkward for T, but Averted more than has it red. Evan collecting the mood boost and possession. On the pop against Jimmy. Can't get it any further than that. Wosa now on the turn. Nukes it back downfield. He's going to take his time to send into the back right corner, but Evan's there. Low touch read by Jimmy. T and Jimmy battling each other for the boost, and it leaves Averted with the ball. Does get cut out by Insanity, but again, these miscommunications are proving to be tragic. That was a great opportunity for a clear if one person would have been able to take control, but instead they're still playing defense, low on boost and low on time. There's only 50 seconds left, and they still have nothing on the scoreboard.
That's the defensive play you like to see as Averted dove in there and cleared it away, but with both his teammates unfortunately sitting smack dab in the center of the goalpost, there was just no one there for the follow. And unfortunately for the Nightmares, the Makos finally draw their first blood and are now only sitting within a 1-goal scoring distance here with 44 seconds left to be played. Wosa, T going for the kickoff here. A little bit of a fake as Jimmy's now going to collect the ball and 100 beans. Evan, miscue, as that pops a little bit too much off the ceiling. T with the follow, putting it off the corner. Jimmy's already elevated. That's going to be high, but Insanity is there to put away the equalizer as we are now all squared away with 2-2.
What a great turnaround of events coming through for the Makos. Just good passing. 1, 2, 3. The third person being Insanity there, waiting to clean up the mess. And with 31 seconds left, this is enough time for either team to take a lead and possibly claim this game. Massive 2-goal swing within the last 15 seconds coming through from the Makos. Looking to possibly make it a third, but Blosa will turn it away with the double off the backboard. Averted the drop down low. Jimmy, follow-up touch. Blosa the read. Averted has the turn and does have possession. One flick over the top of Insanity. Taking his time in the corner. Looking to challenge again. Evan's shot goes wide. And now Insanity taking his time. T to the backboard off the demo. It's an offensive possession late. 2 players go. Averted has the shot. Bar down and through. Averted reclaiming the lead here late in game 2.
My brother, that level of passing, and both Averted and Evan saw blood in the water. They were a little bit more sharks than what we saw from the defense here, as they just knew they had to make contact and slot that in. Averted getting the favorable touch, now sitting north of 600 points through game 2 here. I mean, that's unless Insanity can get an incredible pop here away from Averted, who's just gonna he just drops it straight down. Game 2 goes in favor of New Orleans, almost squarely on the back of Averted's insanely incredible play.
That was a fantastic shot coming through late in game number 2. Excuse me. We absolutely love to see that from the Nightmares that push back against the wall, still able to fight back and land that final shot in order to secure game number 2 over the Makos, and that certainly got a little bit interesting at the end. I don't know what happened exactly with the Makos within that 20-second stretch or so offensively, but they just found their rhythm and were able to capitalize right away. Now, we got ourselves an even series, and for the first time tonight, we will not end in a sweep.
It's Superstar is one of those tiers, at least between Superstar and World Class, I've seen that any team at any given point in time can really just. Oh, they were waiting for Jimmy. I was so confused as to why they were jumping in and backing out. But
Actually, I think we're waiting on Averted.
Averted
has
he is gone.
disappeared.
His game crashed. Woso letting us know that their MVP is struggling a bit. That's unfortunate. But anywho, going back to the talking point here. Oh God. No, but with 20 seconds, with that 20-second run, the Makos really demonstrated why they were the third best team in the league. They showed what their team looks like clicking on all 4 cylinders offensively, and it's a scary thing to witness. New Orleans is going to have to find a way to continue to dominate the middle of the pitch and hopefully strike out 3 more games.
Absolutely right. I think one of the big things, at least on the other side of the pitch, though, for the Makos, you cannot have that many double commits happen again. They were only punished a limited number of times. I can't imagine the Nightmares not capitalizing on more opportunities if provided to them like we saw there. Those double commits keep coming through. The Nightmares are going to run away with this series. They were still able to take the win. 1-1 now being the series score line as Bosa looks for the first opportunity right off kickoff, and it will be intercepted by T down into the opposite corner. One touch around Evan before getting demoed off the field of play. Averted to clear out wide. 15 seconds in, no clear opportunities for either team, but that is to be expected as the game has merely just begun. Reset opportunity for Evan, taken away by Insanity. Averted will take control towards the corner. Challenged right away by T, and Averted looks to drop down. Evan maintaining possession. They'll look to pre-flip as well. Into the middle of the field, Wosa has a shot, but it will not end up finding its way to the back of the net. Early pressure coming through from the Nightmares, just could not capitalize as T clears.
Difficult spot from Wosa, who's going to have to dive in with 0 beans. Averted, lining up a little bit. Jimmy has a very clear path to the goal here. That's going to be cleared away. Oh, goodness. Incredibly lucky play by New Orleans to not have that ball redirect back into their net. I know I've done that far too many times myself. T deleting Wosa, not letting that play develop whatsoever. The pop over Evan leaves Wosa into an awkward spot. Brother, a minute having been played, and it's a little bit back and forth here. New Orleans taking some pinpoint precision mechanical plays, and Miami almost heavy-handed, looking for demos and bumps.
It's certainly an interesting contrast of styles. You love seeing the flair versus the brutality of a physical game. But right now, neither team has been able to utilize either side of those plays in order to capitalize on an offensive opportunity. Jimmy will reset possession into the back corner and will play from the ceiling. Up against Averted. Over the top. Insanity up next. It's a shot towards net. Evan is low on boost, but gets a great touch as T looks to pass back in field, instead setting up a double tap for himself. It's a triple out in front, but Jimmy not in a position to take a shot on that ball. Insanity up next. Drop down in front. T shot high. Jimmy. One more pass inside towards Insanity, but Wosa does have a clear, great opportunity coming through from the Makos, but they weren't able to make anything of it. You feel like that one needed to go for them. They needed a little bit of momentum after dropping game 2.
Definitely needed to, with that much pressure being applied. Oh wow, what a bit of a miscue. The ball bouncing just over the top of the last man back from New Orleans, and in turn Miami gets their goal, which has to feel a little weird in their comms right now with all of the incredible plays they were dropping, the passing, the pressure, and not one goal fell, and then they get that. I mean, of all things, they get that. So might not be better for the mental, but we'll see how that plays out now. First blood being drawn.
It was a good shot at that, able to just simply break through. Again, a little bit of an offensive overcommit coming through from the Nightmare, but they will answer right away. Wosa able to find the ball to Evan as he muscles it through the defense. Kind of switching a bit of the play. You were talking earlier about the Makos coming in with the physical plays, and Evan there just showing that he's got the strength to push on through. That's 1 goal apiece.
Insanity, Wosa getting the kickoff here. Very favorable for T, who's got a little bit of beans in the tank. Takes the pop off the corner. Averted, quickly shoving it over for Wosa, who takes the follow. Insanity, a little bit of a touch, bad touch here as they get it too far away from them. What a pass from Averted. Doesn't want to pull the protractor and potentially take a shot. That would have been far too difficult. Instead, takes an incredible pass play. Already had one off the backboard. Takes a second, lines it up for an easy shot, an open net for Wosa.
And that's the style of threes that Nightmares love. Have your teammates rely on you, and you rely on them in turn. Setting up a teammate, just as you had said, instead of Averted trying to get the tight angle against the defense, he's even able to get a save off of the goal line as well. That one being redirected downfield by T in an awkward pass back that will be received by Jimmy. Averted with the big flick over the top. Board! Averted dissects the defense.
Brother, that is disgusting. Averted, these people have families.
That does. Are we gonna have to make a call to emergency services? That's a crime.
That was a crime. That was disgusting. The hesitation, pulling the defender right off their axles and saying, "Hey, I'm gonna take the flick with no beans and put goal number 3 on the table." Holy cow! Averted is definitely feeling it. Looking for that pass off the backboard. Wosa's there once again. Goal number 4 for New Orleans.
I don't know what has happened to the offense of the Nightmares, but they have just started to click. The Makos opened up the game with the first. Since then, 4 unanswered. Wosa and Averted these time being the 2 players involved, but everyone has had some form of goal participation. This is a great team effort, and with 2 minutes left, the Makos got to start getting things back on track for them, because the only goal that they have had was off of an offensive overcommit from the Nightmares. It wasn't an opportunity they created for themselves, while on the side of the Nightmares, everything they have done was because of their own setup plays. This has been a great showing thus far, and the double commit from the Makos will not help them score. Look at the passing, 1, 2, 3, but Averted can't put it through. Evan's shot saved wide, almost 5-1, but the Nightmares are truly in control.
Imagine having 0 beans in the tank and both your players up pitch have full faith in one another, going for that give and go play. Oh my goodness, they are definitely feeling great as a team. Wosa trying to get that centered here. Evan sitting a little bit too far back. Averted's up, looking for the first touch. Evan looking for the follow. Oh, it's going to be a missed touch by T and a free goal by Evan, as now New Orleans pushes the lead 5-1. Averted and Wosa sitting very squarely at the top of the leaderboards for both teams.
The stat sheet is being filled right now by New Orleans. All 3 players from New Orleans have a higher score than all 3 players from the Makos. That is an unbelievable stat, but not just that. 5 goals, 2, 2, 1. Every single player has scored. Averted, the person with 1 goal, has 3 assists. Wosa has an assist. Every player has a save. This is a complete team effort, and we're seeing that again. You rely on your teammates, you will succeed. This is an incredible brand of Rocket League coming through from the Nightmare, and honestly, I don't know what the Makos can even do to change it. This has just been clinical from the Nightmares.
I don't know. I mean, shy of taking like a full timeout of some kind, shape, or form, there's really nothing you can do when your opponents are going to be fully committed to a solid team play, and they're playing really well. All their touches are falling. I mean, that is the level of almost heat check that we're getting from this New Orleans side. I'm willing to wager that New Orleans in this moment might be able to go toe-to-toe with any team in Superstar and probably come away with the series now.
Yeah, it certainly looks to be the case. I mean, it hasn't just been, you know, how quickly that they've been able to score and just pop off on offense, but it's just been the teamwork. Now, every single player with an assist as Evan gets 1 more and Wosa. What is that?
I'm so shook. You weren't kidding. That stat table looks like it's going to break under its own posts. Holy cow, Wosa, 3 goals, 3 saves, Averted, 3 assists, 3 saves. Brother, that is domination personified.
I mean, what do you even do on the side of the Makos? How do you address what just happened? Look at the numbers. That is well, first of all, visually beautiful, just seeing all the numbers that are up there on the side of New Orleans. But again, if you're either on the Makos or rooting for them, what do you change?
It's difficult, right? But you have to almost force these New Orleans Nightmares players into a more isolation style approach. You need to take it where they're not able to look for that extra pass. They're not able to look to push the ball through the midfield towards another teammate. They're not looking for another touch off the backboard. It's difficult, but you almost have to force them into individual play, and hopefully you can find the weakest link at that point and cut it out. I don't know if that's going to be. I mean, that might just be easier said than done, honestly.
It's a weird spot to be in. And again, 6-1. It's you could argue that what they should do is just simply say, oh, you know what? All right, rough game, shrug it off, move on to the next. But you still got to change something. You got to try to get teammates involved. The defensive rotations, I mean, we've highlighted already the double commits have been numerous, and they simply can't be at this level with these high stakes going on. So try to eliminate double commits as you can. Maybe try to find more infield passing plays, and you got to find organic opportunities. Maybe even try to get more physical. We were talking about the Mako's physical gameplay earlier, and it seemed to disappear throughout the course of that game. We'll see if they're able to turn it around, but the Nightmare are already right back on offense. It's a miss from Insanity. Evan with the pass off the backboard. Wos is going to have a sidewall double. I wasn't able to recover off the sidewall as well, and Insanity wound up taking up high, but again, read by Wosa towards the net. On target, averted, can't quite put it away. T will turn it out.
Evan continuing to apply limitless pressure from this New Orleans side. It finally leaves Miami's back third. T gets a lift, gets the flick. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Oh, that's going to be cleared away by Evan. Incredible play. Wosa looking for a deep touch. It's going to be wide to the left. Jimmy, though, takes the touch regardless. Averted. Putting a touch off the backboard here. Tries to split the 50 with Insanity, but can't quite get there. Instead, miscommunication, mistouch, whatever you want to call it. It's going to go right over Evan. Averted now has to make a diving save. 4 minutes left to be played. Miami's finally got a little bit of breathing room, considering the first 40 seconds were almost just absolutely just a gobsmacking pressure. But Miami Mako's not really finding too much headway here.
No, not at all. This has been a better defensive showing, at least thus far, but at the same time, we saw that it was just simply a one-time thing for the Makos last time offensively, but defensively, they have to defend against Averted, which is easier said than done, but is able to be done by Insanity this time. T with a double opportunity actually pitches it outward instead of getting it in field as Jimmy looks to take control from the ceiling. Does get a ground pitch. It's a back pass actually towards T, but it gets bumped, and great recognition by the defense to try to get rid of the shooter. The shot still comes through, and Wosa with another goal line effort. More opportunities starting to develop from the Makos. They seem to have recovered well after the last game.
It's going to be high and across here. You're not wrong. Miami finding a little bit better footing here. Evans underneath the ball, looking for another touch. Splits the 50. It's going to go over Averted. Insanity, bit of a misread. Wosa, last man back. Well stalled as he's able to take two touches here. Averted leaves it for Evan. Evan rips that. Oh my God. The dude's been hitting the gym. Rockets that at 75 miles an hour. Insane shot.
That is a bullet over the head of T. And all he could do was just simply sit there. He tried getting up, just not fast enough. 1-0 now to the Nightmares, looking to possibly go onto series point. Now kickoff shenanigans looking to come through on the side of the Makos, but Wosa's there with the read and the sidewall double. T up top, no touch afforded to him. 50 comes through, it's neutral towards the sidewall. Evan over the top, looking for a teammate in field, but no one is there. Looking for a 50 now again against T. Going with confidence are the Nightmare. Challenge this time up top by Jimmy. Wosa again off the sidewall. T taking his time. Has to be careful though. Averted is in the back line. Actually, no, Averted had actually rotated out by that point in time. I thought a bump coming through from behind might have possibly been on its way, but instead it's Jimmy trying to start up the offense of the Makos. But everything right now is just so well coordinated from the Nightmares. There's never a time where there isn't a player on the ball.
You're right. They're not separating away from the play. They're always having somebody either with a hand on the ball or a hand in the face of a shooter, just trying to make sure that the opponents aren't comfortable. They're not getting into whatever they want to get for pace, and they are really just controlling the game flow of the flow of the game, I should say. Jimmy underneath the ball tries to get it past the last line of defense. Insanity's going to take a high touch, but Evan was already there off the backboard, slots that way away. Wosa, not a lot of boost in the tank. It's pushed to the sidewall. Insanity would follow. Minute 40 left to be played here. If you're Miami, you've got a lot of pressure on your shoulders, right? I mean, you're talking about a team who's down 2-1 in the series, and a loss here probably could be damning.
You're absolutely right. However, you do also have to take that with a grain of salt because Okay, T's gonna have a goal line save. I thought that was a good shot from Evan, but we did see the Nightmare go up 3-1 last series as well, and they ended up falling apart, and it did go to 7. Now, they did capitalize and still take away the series. That obviously is the case as we see them here in front of our screens right now, but anything can happen. Obviously, the Makos would love for it to be this game that they're able to fight back. But when you're playing so passive against such an aggressive and offensive team, what are you supposed to do? Right now, the biggest thing that's hurting them is the fact that they have been so patient. They are just sitting back. I think they need to be the ones pushing the envelope and starting to push up. Be the ones to make the first decision instead of waiting to see what the opponents do. Because if you give Evan the space, he's going to send it home.
Brother, I was gonna start talking about, yeah, bring Miami's physical gameplay back. We've missed all of their. What is that touch? Oh my goodness, brother, that man was upside down and pulled the acrobats out for the win. Holy cow, that could easily be the dagger. 2-goal differential in 45 seconds left to be played in any tier is a difficult mountain to climb, and now we're gonna see it on a superstar. I don't know, McMaster. That could be the dagger for sure.
Absolutely. And now we've heard it's possibly looking to make it 3. Just really make sure that the words are truth and it's going to fall through. Insanity being hunted has to worry about 2 things at once. And unfortunately, that is just one too many things. Can't get around Blosa. Great bump. Averted ends up getting credit for the goal. And we're going to go into game number 5 with the Nightmares on match point.
Normally when you see a series score be 3-1, you kind of think, it's not terrifically that far. The teams are probably pretty close. I'm going to be honest, man. This is probably the most dominant display I've seen all day, which is nuts to say because they did just 4-1 in quarters, and then they went into a best of 7 in the semis. But, brother, it's disgusting. What? How does Biwosa respond? The reflexes are just too quick. The bounce off the crossbar left a very damning opportunity, and instead, Blosa clears that away with just perfect placement. McMaster, I'm actually like struggling to speak here.
Dude, if you're on the Makos and you hear that post sound, you already know the game is over. It's already done and dusted. 3-0 with under 10 seconds is not happening. And then it still hits off the post, and somehow Blosa says, no, you don't even get 1. That is 9-1 over the last 2 games for the Nightmares in terms of goal differential. The Makos, quite literally, have no option but to go ahead and take this back to the drawing board and try to reset. They are down to their last life in this championship. The Nightmares have been so dominant, so strong, and it is so hard to see what the Makos could possibly do to turn the tide.
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I mentioned it before. Rocket League's a momentum-based game. This is such an incredible spot for Miami to be in because the opportunity for a legacy builder is here to come back from being down 1-3, but New Orleans has already showed that they can stop that momentum push. They can stop that throttling. So any game for Miami could be the end because New Orleans has that, for lack of a better term, they got that dog in them.
Anything can go on this game. But if anyone has to make it happen, it's got to be the Makos. I think they got to play a little bit less passive. They have to take risks. You're at the point where the risk has to be there with the reward. That's all you can do. You cannot continue this safe style of play, and you certainly can't continue those double commits. Those have been brutal to go against them, and now Evan might already have the first. 50 out wide. Blosa is there, but actually ends up shooting it high. Doesn't even give the defense a chance to save it as it's sent out wide. Jimmy with the possible reset attempt. Averta will clear downfield once again. A little bit of opportunities coming through from both sides, but no one's able to capitalize just yet. Evans up top with Insanity, 50 straight down. Jimmy, control, intercepted by Blosa, taking his time, but T has it red and will clear into the orange half.
Not all a boost is going to let this go to Evan. Evans underneath the ball, looking for a fake, splits the 50, tries to take the contact and push it through, but Insanity has the read. Blosa gets a very favorable touch. It's going to be bounced out by Jimmy. Jimmy's looking for a second touch. Evan gets the push, but it's going to be in the wrong direction here. Now Jimmy was almost able to bust out the protractor and get goal number 1 for the Makos, but instead we now move past the 1 minute mark with nothing being placed on the stat sheet. Oh my god,
oh my goodness.
Goal.
But that's another post hit. That's another audio ding that came through, and that has got to be ringing through the ears of the Makos just saying, gosh, what do we have to do? Where is our accuracy gone? Right now, questions have to be starting to come through from this team because they've just had to deal with so much pressure defensively. And then offensively, you feel like you have the opportunity, haven't been able to put it away. That shot saved off the bar, and another ding, this time courtesy of Evan. Unbelievable defense from the Nightmares, but Insanity continues to push forward. Reset pop, cleared out wide by Averted, T to intercept. The Mako's starting to look stronger offensively, and the offense has finally fizzled out.
Playing Insanity can't quite get the touch. It's going to be wide. Buwosa looking for a redirect there, but it can't quite get it, so T is going to take possession here. We're going to drop it down to Jimmy. No. Instead takes control. That's going to be pushed all the way back across the pitch by Evan, who's looking for a double tap off the backboard. Averted, can't quite get the push, so Evan off the ceiling looking to drop it down. T cutting out the pass. We're seeing the Makos finally watching the plays develop and cutting them out long before it makes it to the second shooter. And that might be the key to actually taking this win here and potentially turning the series around.
Absolutely, and it feels like the pace has certainly picked up. The offensive pressure has started to show up for the Makos. They've been a little bit more physical. However, there is a double commit, and things are going to be awkward for Insanity. Does get the 5th against Buwosa in order to turn it out wide. Averted infield pass towards Evan. Shot comes through. The Nightmares getting even closer to clinching Major 2.
One more goal, one more step. New Orleans is on a warpath, having now destroyed every ounce of possibility from Miami's defense. Averted, looking to split that 50 with Jimmy. That's high. T quickly with the follow, but Evan's already there. Turned on the afterburners, threw it in maximum overdrive, and swatted that away. Jimmy gets the pop. A little bit of a waterfall as T's going to get the read. Evan's there, gets the first push. Buwosa looking for a doozy off the side. No, that's just going to slot in. Evan getting a very favorable bounce off the corner. I do want to point out, McMaster, I did tell Evan that if he popped off tonight and if he continued to get high point games, I would have to start calling him the Witch Doctor on streams.
All right, you can go right on ahead. I'm going to continue to call him Evan. What we may call him here soon enough is we may call him champions. They're up 2 with 2 minutes to go. The offense from the Makos still with absolutely no answer, and it's all seemingly been because of this unreal defense from the Nightmares. This is finally a good opportunity. T is trying to find Jimmy. The 50 from Buwosa will end up being taken away by Insanity as he tries setting up T on the sidewall. Instead, it's a team bump, and Insanity tries recovering. Infield pass taken by Evan. Jimmy now up against Averted. Averted with one touch and the carry out wide. Does fake and go underneath and collects that corner boost. Over the top of T, but Insanity is there. There is 90 seconds separating the Nightmares from the Major 2 title. The Makos need something, and they need it now.
Evan has the ball. Very dangerous player to allow to have possession. Fakes the first touch, gets it past one. T, though, has the read. Prevents that play from developing further. Insanity is under the ball, leaves it for T. That's swatted away from Buwosa, though. Jimmy tries to keep the pressure alive. You're not wrong. They need a goal here. They need it now. Jimmy tries to turn. Buwosa cuts it out of the net yet again. This New Orleans defense is bend, don't break for sure. 6 saves already on the board, and I swear, man, they're just going to keep tacking that tally up because they aren't going to let a single thing in today.
This is incredible, and that was an opportunity from Insanity, but he can't take control. Jimmy finally has a shot and will find the back of the net. There is a bit of life in a defensive calamity. I think there were bumps coming through.
I think
it was
they
just
rolled
awkward,
one.
too.
I think
they actually did. There was a head-on collision from Evan and Averted. Certainly not planned, and will ultimately cost them a goal as the Makos get on the board for the first time in, well, almost 2 full games. But there is a bit of life, and the last time they had an opportunity like this, they put 2 on the board quick. Insanity is going to look for T, but he's not going to challenge right away. Only 30 seconds left. Evan looks to create an offensive opportunity as it's a 2v3 temporarily. T takes it away from Jimmy. Averted with patience. Leaves it for Buwosa to the backboard. Insanity clears it out wide. There's only 20 to go. Do the Nightmares have it on lock, or will the Makos answer?
Jimmy looking for a pass. Center of Buwosa gets the push. That could be the dagger. If Averted can get back to the ball, he can't. Buwosa puts it away. That's goal number 3. And with New Orleans up 2, that could be the dagger.
It has to be. It feels like it has to be. When Averted first missed, you wondered maybe a counterattack was going to develop instead, but no. Buwosa, the safety net, sends it on through. 10 seconds left. This is desperate time for the Makos. They try a delayed kickoff. They need a goal with time remaining, but it is not going to come through. Averted with the clear will seal the deal. 4-1 is your series score, and the Nightmares, as the 7th seed, clinch Major number 2.
Oh my God, man. I am. It has been a great run. I'm not going to lie. New Orleans caught fire at the right time. 4-1 in the quarters. They went to game 7 in the semis against a very difficult team. And now I can't believe the third best team in Superstar just got taught what New Orleans offense looked like on the grand stage. I'm flabbergasted. I'm flabbergasted.
And to an elite extent as well. That wasn't a drawn out game 6 or 7 series where you had punch counter punch. That was just multiple rounds dominated by the Nightmares. Unbelievable showing from them. And as again, they were the excuse me, if I look at the stats, they were tied for actually they were in a 3-way tie for the 5th seed with the Grand Forks Spartans and the Chicago Titans. This will leapfrog them super high in the standings, and who knows where we'll end up putting them. It might put them in the top 4, but regardless of that, what matters is that we have ourselves a winners here in Superstar. The New Orleans Nightmares securing it in 5 games. Incredible showing, boss. What else really is there to say?
I don't know, and you're not wrong. I mean, what is it, 18, 24 points, somewhere in that ballpark? I mean, brother, that's going to leapfrog them well past at least into 4th place. Like, that's nuts to think about. They're going to go from 7th to 4th, and really, it's just been a continuation of the New Orleans Nightmares as a franchise, making a comeback. Nando really lining himself up for comeback season, or comeback GM of the season, because quite frankly, they were 14th prior to Major One. They were 14th as a
Wow.
franchise prior to Major One. Going into Major One, they had world class and pro make it always to the finals. Neither team was able to pull it off. Moved up to 5th, and through a few great weeks, they moved up to the 2nd best franchise. And now they finally get a little bit of hardware. Their superstar team, the team that I would have never guessed would have been the one to get that first trophy, does. New Orleans getting a little bit of relief there.
And, all respect to the Makos. They had a fantastic run as well. Top 2 is nothing to scoff at. Great showing from them. Unfortunate that they were on the wrong side. Yeah, they were on the wrong side of the coin this time around. But the New Orleans Nightmares, full congratulations. You guys earned it, and you showed off what you were capable of. I'm excited to see what they're able to do in the playoffs when they come around. However, we are not done for the night. We still have one more grand finals. It is world class. When we come back, we'll have those teams ready to go.
the headlight. Drop that shit on the headlight.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have returned. I am McMaster. This time, once again, welcome back, Contra, to the booth. We have ourselves the grand final set for World Class, and we have found out which teams is going to be as well. It is the Grand Forks Spartans and the Toronto Six, the 8 and 9 seed, looking to leapfrog their way above the rest and find themselves with better seeding, or for the 6, possibly a playoff spot. Going to be an interesting matchup between the two teams. Contra, what do you think of what we have in front of us?
Yeah, I don't know. Toronto, this is their second time in the finals. You may have not seen it since it wasn't on the mainstream, but they found their way in the finals in Academy. Unfortunately, unable to close it out there. Maybe they could get it back here. Going 50% on finals is not bad. As the Spartans, I believe they're coming in here with a sub. Wicked being a super sub, at least winning against the previous major winner, San Diego Sea Lions, in 7. Can they do it here in the finals, close it out, or will Toronto have it?
It's certainly going to be an interesting match. I'm excited to see what exactly the players are able to provide for us. But I'll tell you what, if that is true that the Spartans have been playing with the sub, what a run that they have gone on, not only to beat the San Diego Sea Lions, who, frankly, have been a great team this season, not only the Major 1 winners, but the 4th seed as a whole. To beat them in 7 was massive. And then to go on and face the 3 seed Stallions and then take that in 5 games, the Spartans have gotten progressively better and against progressively better competition. The 6 have had a similar run with the first series, their quarterfinal matchup against the Akron Kings, going all the way to 7, the Kings being the 12th seed, and then going on to beat the Baltimore Boxers, the 11th seed, in 6 games. The 6 have had a bit of an easier path, if you will, to the finals. But regardless, they are here for a reason. They are competitive, and they are here to take down the Spartans. Should be a great match between two very closely seeded teams.
Yeah, and you say an easier path, and it may be so, at least on paper, but with so many roster changes, so many changes in just how these teams play, it may have been harder. We'll come to see here in the finals if Toronto's really got it or if they had an easier path.
It's certainly going to be interesting. But ultimately, it's up to the players to decide who exactly is going to end up taking the crown. As you had said, the Toronto Six, they had an opportunity at having a major win. If you look at that novice division, or excuse me, not the novice division, the Academy division, they were right there. They were so close, just dropped in 6 in the San Diego Sea Lions. They would love another opportunity. But the Grand Forks Spartans, they haven't been able to push through into the top 4 yet. This is a massive opportunity for them as an organization to claim a win. All we're doing is waiting on one of the two teams. One of the teams in here, and then once the other shows up, it'll be game time.
And it's looking like Grand Forks Spartans will have their full roster today. I believe against San Diego they did not, but able to sub him in for one series and then continue on. Great to see that. After you would hate to see a team go out because they didn't have their full roster today, but able to make it happen there. So we'll see if they can make it happen in the finals with their full roster. As I believe in the semifinals they did play with their full roster.
I mean, you never know where the power can come from. Sometimes a sub is what is needed to change things up. The best example of a super sub, Turbo Pulse's first world championship as a pro, he was a substitute and then came in and won it all. So who knows? If they're not playing with their full roster, there is ample opportunity for a player to show up and play to a level that would not be expected otherwise. But regardless of who is and is not here, everything has come to this. The Major 2 grand finals, this time of the World Class division. Neither of these teams even made the top 8 in the first major, neither getting any major points at all. They're sitting at 57 and 54 points total on the season. They are 8 and 9. This is as much of a coin flip as you can write. Any predictions as to how the series may go?
I would say I think I have Spartans winning this. I think they had the harder road. I think the roster's a little bit better, a little more firepower, which is hard to do when Water and Mogi are on the other team. But I think the Spartans would have this in. I'll go 6.
Spartans in 6 being the prediction coming through from Condra. We're just waiting as Nez will end up coming on through. We have the players ready to hit the field. I'm going to let them know to get to it. And we're going to have ourselves a grand final here in the world class division. Again, Spartans and the 6 predictions up. Go ahead and get your points in. The 8th seed, Grand Forks Spartans. The 9th seed, Toronto 6. And the players, even though I said let's go, we're not quite joining the field yet. Interesting.
Interesting. But we did see Mogi is not there for Toronto right now. It's actually Catomac subbing in. Both players knowing each other. Both players are quite high salary. You're not
Yeah.
going to see. They're both extremely aggressive as well. The play styles are very similar, in my opinion. I think Kato is a little more controlled with the ball. Mogi likes to get a little more loose, let the plays run, try to pass the ball a little more often, but they're very similar. Very easy to just slot one in, slot one out, and still have around the same team overall.
Dude, to have that kind of interchangeable access to where you can have someone sub in and just not, it's seamless, have it be transitionless and just make it clean and easy. That is rare. That is extremely rare. And if the 6 are able to put that into play, who knows? It does look like, I guess on the side of the Grand Forks, we're just, I believe if I'm right, yeah, the Grand Forks said that one of the players just isn't at his computer right now. So we're going to wait and see when he's here. Yeah, I guess we're just going to have to remain patient for the time being.
And another thing to point out, I didn't see this at first. Nezzy also subbing in for either Water or Mogi. Nezzy was a league reserve for a while, but was eventually put in. I believe he's around 2,000 MMR, if I'm not mistaken. Very high, very good player. As I'm getting word of something here. Oh, yeah. Already noticed. But we're just waiting on dinner, I guess.
This is interesting. I mean, why have the players join if they're not ready to play? Not I guess not for me to decide, not for me to decide, but it is what it is. We'll just wait. We'll just wait on them. We'll play patient. Perfect time to get in those channel points, ladies and gents. Predict who you think is going to take it. Again, 8th seed Grand Forks Spartans, 9th seed Toronto 6. Should be about as even of a match as you could possibly get just based on paper. But anything can happen. We can see a sweep. We can see game 7. Who knows what's going to end up taking place?
Yep. And this team on the side of Grand Forks is a little more evenly spread out in MMRs. I believe Rome's about 1950, and I believe Geo's a little higher at 1960, and Tox is also about 1950-ish. So this team's very close in MMRs. While on the side of Toronto, you have a bit more diversity. Wesley being the third here, at least in MMR, about 1800, I believe, 1850, I want to say. Nezzy around 2K, and Catomac also pretty high up there, around 1990. Maybe 2K as well. I cannot remember. But it looks like we're getting this game on the road. Toronto versus Grand Forks Spartans in the Major 2 finals in World Class. It's now or never. The 8th and 9th seed trying to decide it here.
This is massive. All the players finally hit the field, and right away, Tox has an opportunity to kick off, but Catomac shuts it down. Rome rebound opportunity, just too high. Good read by Catomac to send it out wide as Tox will look to take control and continue pressing early offense on the side of the Spartans. It's Geo into the corner. No second touch available. Catomac clear downfield. Will grab that mid boost as well. Ever so crucial to try to get this challenge, and he does have the read on lock. It's Wesley up top, taking his time on the reset. Has no follow-up touch afterwards, and now Geo will find Rome as he sends it back down into the Toronto 6's half.
Yeah, and I think something to point out here, I would say out of World Class, these teams are the 2 most mechanical, especially on the side of Spartans. Every player on the Spartans team has insane mechanics, insane read, insane control over the ball, able to do whatever they want at any time. I think they're going to be a little more solo play heavy. The passes are going to come off the backboard more often, but we'll see here as the first 4 minutes go even.
Wesley taking his time. Let's pass out towards Catomac. One touch not afforded to him. Geo intercepts, and Nez will be there first out towards Wesley. Popped up high towards the ceiling. Tox to intercept. Rome taking his time. Infield pass towards Geo, but Geo's got no boost. Still rushes upfield and likes to take a shot. Just going to keep the defense honest as Catomac sends out wide, and it's cleared even further downfield. Catomac into the corner. Extra touch is available, but it's sent far too far. across the net. Nez will reclaim possession. Gio intercepts. Wesley up next, off the sidewall. Bumped off the play is Katamak. Tox look to take control as he sends off the sidewall. Gio early challenge around one. Katamak has to intercept, but does pay for it. Thankfully, Wesley is there. The shooting opportunity was open for a small amount of time, and it was immediately shut down as both teams, again, continue searching, but all the players are upfield on the side of the 6. The Spartans are gifted a freebie to open the series.
And Rome just caught them out on defense. A great clear comes out, and everybody going for that midfield boost just left the net open. Gio didn't even have to get a redirect on it. It's just in. 1 goal to the Spartans.
A very odd misplay coming through on the side of the Toronto 6 with just that strange overcommit, if you will. And they immediately are punished for it as Rome and company look to add to their lead. It'll be Gio with control over towards the sidewall. Ends up bouncing further off the ball than the ball did off the wall. He'll still take his time up against Wesley. 50 to the corner. Katamak to turn up against Tox. Off the ceiling. Tox looking to go low. Doesn't have the extra touch. It's out in front. Nez and Wesley with the double commit, but Katamak is there in time to challenge Rome before the shot can come through. Katamak takes the boost as Wesley has nothing. Infield pass. Shot just off target. Katamak has the clear. Looking to break out are the 6, but right now the offensive firepower proving to be too much in favor of the Spartans.
Yeah, right now it feels Toronto's playing a little too loose, a little too double commit heavy. Needs to just go one at a time. Need to get a little more strength on defense, build a base, because right now the Spartans are just tearing it down. Wesley's going to have this down the length of the field looking for some offense. Rome shuts him down, and Rome's been great on defense so far. Tox now looks to get his hand in the mix. He does so. Just waiting on the touch. Tox has it above. Into the corner. A little awkward. Gio, 0 boost to Rome. They cut it out quickly. And now Tox, 0 boost on defense. Has to do well against Nez. Nez tries to force his way through. Cato's going to have it. Cato looks one more 50. It goes around Wesley. And now Gio. Offense. Flip reset. Under. Looks for one more. Can he get it past? No. Nez holds strong on defense. And a little more clarity now. Tox, 100 boost. Tries to get it off the back wall. Rome's going to be first. Off the side wall. Wesley's shot denied by Tox. And Cato tries to get a 50 with Gio. Has to wait. Has to shadow it. Gio so dangerous in these positions, but unable to get it around. The Spartans trying to hold the 1-goal lead right now. Trying to make it 2 even. Toronto just looking for a counterattack. Nezi on target. Who's going to be there first? A double commit from the Spartans. Uncharacteristically on defense. Now Cato waits on the Wesley touch. It goes to Nez. Nez now has a play in field. Cato has it high, but Rome just takes his time. And right now it feels like the Spartans have a little more control over the play.
Yeah, they do. It seems as though the 6 are just kind of, desperately looking for some sort of outplay, but it's all choreographed. None of it seems to have that much creativity behind the play. It seems to be pretty, cookie-cutter offense coming through on the side of the 6, while the defense from the Spartans has just been able to answer everything thus far. And Gio continues looking for these solo efforts. He's been very successful in getting the ball back downfield into the offensive half. We are approaching the 40-second mark. It has been the Spartans' game thus far, but anything can happen. However, time is definitely going against Toronto at the moment. Shot comes through. It's high. There's no rebound opportunity.
Oh, no.
Nez's touch is too light. Katamak pass back out towards Wesley. He'll take his time with boost. Tries resetting from the ceiling. Extra touch. Has Katamak waiting in the midfield. Up top to the backboard. Tox is there with no boost. Final 20 seconds. The 6 are starting to push. Do they have enough to break through?
Spartans trying to hold strong here on Rome. He's been so good on defense, relieves so much pressure. Now the counterattack. Tox looks for the double, but it's off the backboard. Double commit. All of a sudden, Rome's left by his lonesome. They need to figure out who's going to have the ball. Cato wins it over. Rome unable to make the touch. Nezi off the ceiling. Who's going to be there? Tox slams it into the floor. Spartans win game 1, 1-0.
Wow, that could not have been much closer within the last minute. The offense really shining for the Toronto 6 late, but it was too little too late at that, as the Grand Forks Spartans are able to claim game number 1. A good start for them as they are able to take an early lead. We're going to keep the momentum going from here, but I mean, a 1-0, that is not a safe lead. Certainly a game like that would not be desirable for the Spartans. That was scary.
Yeah, the Spartans able to get that 1-goal lead just off of a overcommit on the midfield boost, and after that, the Toronto 6 held it down on defense. I still feel that Spartans played a little bit of a better game, but at the end there, Toronto 6 were pushing for a goal, barely were able to hold on if you're on the side of the Spartans. It's going to be interesting. I think the player on the Spartans to look at this game would be Geo or Tox, given that Geo had 6 shots, but Tox is usually a much more offensive player. Just that game, he played a lot more defense, played the midfield a lot more often. Maybe it's just a play style with this Spartans team, but I would argue that I would argue that we're going to see a Tox goal this game.
We'll find out, and only one way to find out, and that's by hitting Forbidden Temple here for game number 2. And Tox is going to have an opportunity to make you correct right away. Staying up top, looking for the 15, instead gets the demo onto Katamak. The shot will not come through from Tox just yet. Instead, it's Geo on the follow with the reset. Another demo comes through. Tox does not get a shot off. Nez instead will clear, and Rome will elect to reset the offense from their own backcourt. One flick, looking to take control. On the dribble now. Takes it, but gets bumped off the ball. It was good play developing on the side of Rome, but isn't able to capitalize as a result. A double commit comes through on the side of the Toronto 6, and we saw this quite a bit in the Superstar Finals as well. Double commits coming through in number, seemingly for the 6 early on. That is not a good thing and has been a recipe for disaster for teams of the past, and it might be an opportunity here as a result. Rome will shoot and score thanks to the defensive overcommit.
Yeah, another double commit, and Wesley has to wait on this back wall, has to let Nezzy force it to him, and since he doesn't, Katomak on 0 in net is going to be a tap-in for Rome all day.
And that's as free as it's going to get on the side of the Spartans. The 6 had opportunities to clear, but again, just as we had seen, 2 players committing on that ball, that simply is not acceptable. Not for a grand finals, not where you're trying to secure a major victory for your organization. It's brutal on the side of the Toronto 6. However, if you are on the side of the Spartans, you are loving every single opportunity you are given. That is a great start to game number 2. Now 2-0 in terms of goal differential this series, and they're looking to continue it as well as Katamak searches for Wesley in field. It'll be 50 to just a bit out wide. Tox taking his time, looking for a bit of control as he was given space until Katamak violently took him off the field of play. Nez an extra touch, it pops up high. Wesley's going to have 1 touch, but no shot coming through from the 6.
Yeah, and this Rome defense, I want to highlight it. He's been doing so well to provide time to the Spartans, allow the Spartans to get boosts, because this is a boost-heavy team. Someone has to take the time, and Rome on defense has done so well, just shadowing, allowing his teammates to challenge. Like right here, he allows Geo into the play, and so Rome can get the save at the end. Now Nezzy tries to pass it midfield. Tox has it. Kato has to get there first. 50 boost into the air, 50. Rome will be there first, tries to get 1 more into the quarter, but it just goes all across the field, the length of the field. Tox 100 boost, a little awkward though, gets bumped off the wall. Kato opportunity, but Tox denies him still. Their defense holding strong for the Spartans. It just feels like Toronto hasn't even been giving a chance in this game. Now on the other end, Geo tries to play it high, unable to make contact with it. Wesley into the air, plays it under. Kato, he could have gone. Nezzy passes it to right wall. Now Kato into the air, flip reset. Can he do it? No, Geo has it out. Nezzy puts it on target momentarily. Tox will have it, low boost. Rome 100 into the air, looks for it around, tries to get a 50. 1 more, no. Tox is going to be 0, and on the side of Toronto, you need to start finding some more opportunities on target. Maybe here they can. Wesley off the post, so close. Kato tries to put it on target, looks 1 more, can't do so, and Toronto just getting frustrated on offense. Oh no, on the other end.
I thought for a second that was about to go against them. That had me so worried, especially because their offense only fizzled out because of the double commit that came through from Nez and Wesley. 2 players looking to take the ball from that opposite corner, neither ending up with it. And now Wesley tries to search downfield. Nez is hunting for bumps on the back line, but the Spartans are able to avoid for the time being. Centered out in front, Katamak has an extra touch off the corner. Nez to try to follow this time. He'll pop it up, and Rome has a bit of space, does beat Wesley, but does get bumped off the play. It'll be Geo to clear all the way back downfield, and Katamak again has to reset. Almost 10 full minutes coming through without a goal from the 6. The offense needs a spark, and they got to get it sooner rather than later. They still trail in game 2.
Yeah, would love to see a solo play go in. We had Katomak have that opportunity, but I just think the reset was a little overzealous, maybe a little too fancy, to be honest. But now on the other end, Geo denies them of the counterattack. Rome on target, double commit. Somebody has to take the boost. Kato decides it's his. Tox, right side. Rome looks for it. 100 boost, tries to force a 50 in front of net, and it's just been 50 after 50. They are not allowing these solo plays to really flourish, playing the ball every time to perfection. Nez now, he forces his way through. Opportunity, shot, off target. Who's going to be there? Geo misses the ball, but Kato a little weak. and you needed that one to fall if you're a Toronto fan.
That was absolutely necessary, but the shot was just too weak, and the demo on the backline meant the third player could not commit on the play. It is a pass upfield. The double this time comes through from the Spartans in a little bit of a moment of panic. It'll be Nez to take out wide. Limited boost in the tank, now 0. In fact, Gio has an opportunity. Patient touch, shot on target. It is a floater, and it falls. The Spartans 2 up and possibly 2 games down.
Yeah, Gio does well to follow this ball, but I really like that Rome touch, just being a pest. You know, he got beat in the corner, but then he turns around, gets the pass back to just tip it over the defense. They weren't ready for it, weren't aware he was still in the play, and he makes his name known here.
Now with 19 seconds left, this is desperate times right now coming through from the 6. It's Alfred in front. The double comes through, and the shot from Wesley doesn't even find the mark. A golden opportunity after eliminating the last defender will go awry and will effectively end game number 2 in favor of the Spartans. Unbelievable what we're seeing right now. Even that just goes off target, will be dropped. The Spartans, wow, back-to-back shutouts. Not enough could be said about how good the defense has been playing thus far.
Yeah, Spartans looking really good, and Kato, he had 6 saves that game. They had shot opportunities, they had shots on target, but it was either a save, either they missed, either it was just too weak at times. They need a little more clinicism on the side of Toronto, because once you see one fall, they'll all start falling. This team looks very momentum-based. We'll see in Game 3 if they can figure it out, because if you go 3-0 down, it's not very comebackable. It's not very good series score to be at.
Yeah, and I mean, you can look at Kato. 6 saves is an absolute monstrous performance defensively, and they had opportunities to score. They just could not find the mark for one reason or another. Post, incredible defensive play by the Spartans, whatever it may be, they still have not broken through. And this has got to be troubling, not just, to see that the offense hasn't been able to score, but the defense hasn't quite held yet either. That is 3-0, the current score line. Back-to-back shutouts from the Spartans. We can talk all about the problems that the 6 need to fix and solve, but all the credit has to be given to the Spartans. They have played an elite game that is extremely team-oriented, very trust-oriented, and it's paid dividends.
Yeah, I mean, you could credit some of those shots off target just because there's so many players on defense. You feel like you need to put it top corner. You feel like you need to shoot it incredibly well. And if you don't, it's just going to be a save at the end of the day. So I don't blame the Toronto 6 for missing, but they got to start putting these on target. As Tox looks in field, unable to find anyone. Kato and Nez combine for the save. As Rome has it off the wall. Wesley's going to be there. Gio up into the air. Looks for one. Can't find anyone though. Kato just has it to the right wall. Tox a big dunk though. This could be dangerous, could be awkward, but Kato's gonna be there first. Flip reset, all of a sudden converting it into offense, but once again Rome's there, and he has held for the Spartans so far on defense. He has been a rock.
And now we're looking to turn that defense into offense. It's Kato to challenge first, and then Nez will take it downfield in the corner. Rome, again, we've seen this one play out before. Plays it from his own corner this time, up into the ceiling. Now the air dribble downfield, looked for the reset and did get it, but Kato shuts that down instantly. Switching sides of play, Nez doesn't have the read, and no one will be up for the 6. It's Gio to take control. One touch to pop up. Wesley up next. No more touches remain. It'll be Rome to the sidewall in search of a double tap. Does have it towards the backboard. Kato, though, does have a read over the top of Tox. No shot will come through from either team. Now off the sidewall. Nez to clear even further out wide, but Rome is going to be there first. Off the ceiling, it'll roll. Looking for a 50. It's just going to find its way through. Defensive calamity. The Spartans again are up by 1.
And we see Rome, he gets around Nezzy, and then Gio just fakes out the defense here. Kato had no clue who was getting contact with that ball. It just goes straight under him. 1 goal to the Spartans, nothing new for them.
That is a brutal goal to have to concede, and again, the offense from the 6 still hunting for their first goal, not just of the game, but of the series. We're in Game 3, and they haven't been able to find it as Gio again has another save on the goal line. Now Demo's coming through in number from Kato, but Nez can't make contact. He'll have to try to reset from the corner, but Tox has it on lock. Katamak doing everything he can to start the offense, but it is not happening right now for the 6. Finally, a breakout opportunity. Rome shuts it down once more. The Spartans look unstoppable at the moment.
Yeah, the Spartans just are playing so good on defense. I mean, look at the control from Rome there at the midfield. Just pre-jumped him. And now on the other end, Gio, can he find it in the back of the net? No. And on the side of Toronto, I think the demos were the right strategy. I think Kato figured it out earlier. If you can demo the team, if they're not there, they can't make the save. Rome takes his time off the back wall, then double commit comes through, so Kato just has to respect. Still, he does well there. He has 100 boost into the air. 50 goes across. Nez has to go first, gets the 50. Wesley, he's up quick, but Rome just denies him. Now on the other end, Kato 0 boost, has to do well with this ball. He takes it to the floor, gets a pinch, it goes across. Tox is gonna be there now. Wesley can't get a touch on it, and Nezzy's backwards in net, unable to stop the Spartans' offense as they're 2-0.
This has been a brutal decimation of the Toronto Six. Right now, it just doesn't even feel as though the teams are on the same level at this moment. The Spartans are cooking. The Six are left just wondering what in the world is going on. They even try a hard cheat up, and Rome will elect to play the 50. Ends up being neutral against Nez. Tox will have the rebound, shoots it high, barring out. A little bit of hope on the side of the Six now after that one does not go through, but the demo is going to remove Wesley. Only Cadillac left. Geo taking his time, no boost in the tank, 50 and out wide, but still in a dangerous position against the Six. Rome on the turn once more. Boost in the tank, looking for the infield pass, pitches out wide, but Geo, again, just in the right position to immediately take control. This might fall to Wesley. It's going to go through for Cadillac off the ceiling. The Six have finally gotten the first domino to fall.
And sometimes you just need one of those to fall. You know, there was multiple players on defense, but nobody able to get a hand on it. Kato caught them out with a great 50, a great half volley off the wall. Whatever it was, it cuts the lead in half, and it gives Toronto a little bit of hope.
And maybe that's just what they need. The feeling of getting the first. As you had said, the domino effect. Once one falls, more will fall as Wesley ties this up immediately off kickoff. Pass from Nez ends up finding its way through. Geo and Tox did what they could, but that double just finds Wesley right in the midfield at the right time.
And they're just pushing one at a time. We'll get the ball in front of the net, we'll make them all overcommit, and then eventually we'll have a free shot. They find the bottom. It's 2-2 right now, and Wesley looking to make it 3-2 to Nez, off the back wall, but unable to get the shot. Now Tox on the other end, looks for the counter attack to Geo, off the back wall. Kato unable to make a touch. Tox just takes it to the side, looks for the boost. I'm not sure if that was the exact play he was looking for. Nez off the ceiling, Geo 50 bump comes through. It's still the Toronto Six are holding, and on defense they haven't looked terrible this game. It's been some great outplays from the Spartans as Rome fakes out one, looks 50 in front of net, but Tox unable to get it past Nez, who holds on strong. They're holding on for dear life. Kato now finds the shot on target, the other at Geo. Psycho attempt, unable to get it, and will that cost them? It will. Wesley finds the back of the net, 3-2.
That is massive for the Six. They need this game desperately. There's no way they can afford to go down 3-0, not against the Spartans, and now with how they've been playing. That is a massive goal and a massive mistake. The Psycho, a good idea, but ends up not being capitalized on thoroughly. Now 3-2 in favor of the Six, an immediate turnaround, and you were spot on with your evaluation. Once the first went, the others started following immediately after. Now there's only 20 seconds left on the clock, and this is the Six's game to lose. They need to hold strong as time looks to tick on down. It's Geo to the sidewall, Nez taking his time and just resetting. Good communication to let Kato take over. Final 10, can the Spartans find something?
Yeah, I think the Spartans are a little shook right now after 3 just fall back to back to back. You have to think about what you've been doing, what went wrong. Maybe getting a little too flashy, maybe need to stick to the basics. Already counting their series win, but the series is not over. It's looking to be 2-1 unless someone can get it now. Now Nezzy off the back wall just kills it. Toronto 6 get their first.
And that is a crucial game win coming through from the Toronto Six. In order to get that first game is massive, especially considering they were outshot this whole game. The Six were able to do a lot. They turned it all around. They were down 2, fought back, and now have a game under their belt. They avoid going onto match point immediately. It is 2-1 now. The Spartans still in control of the series for the time being. However, the Six have gotten their little bit of momentum that they were looking for.
Yeah, Kadomak, you know, he had 5 demos that game, really opened up the offense for Toronto. And on the other end, the clinicism finally came through. They were putting shots back in the net, top shelf. Wesley had it around Rome at the end there. And I mean, on the side of the Spartans, I think you need to get a little less felt like they got a little cocky at the end, maybe counting their wins a little early. And for a Toronto team that looked to be potentially perfect swept in the finals, all of a sudden they take this game and it feels like the momentum's purely on their side.
Yeah, that was giant. And I think you're right. It looked like the Spartans got a bit comfortable. And then when the goals started falling, then they got a bit panicky. And the defense started making mistakes here and there. And then the Six were able to capitalize. That was a good game for them to end up taking, especially because they found themselves down 2-0 early. Great comeback on the side of the Toronto Six. And now they hope to build some momentum off the back of that. It's count on the ceiling early. Wesley out in front, denied by the defense. Nez will be 50 out wide by Tox as well. Extra touch, Rome, one shot, Katamak able to just hold his nerve and make sure that is a routine save as it should be. Kato 50 by Rome to the ceiling. Nez trying to clear it outfield. Another 50 goes off the ceiling as well. Gio looking to take control. Rome waiting in the wings. Instead it's Gio with a reset, but Kato will turn it away right away. Nez up top, boost to work with, and space given as well. Tox does get the 50 out wide into the corner where Gio will take control.
Yeah, Tox, I would like to see a little more from him this game, see him step up a little more as they pinch it through. I mean, this is some creative offense, if anything. Tox got the 100 as well, but Wesley able to get it off the back wall. Gio has it midfield, but no one's going to be there. He just has to chase his own touch. Double commit now at midfield, but still holding well. Tox now off the back wall. Wesley, he'll have, looks one more, 0 boost, but he got it to a teammate. Nezzy up into the air, looks for it on the back wall, but Gio's done well to hold the midfield, and that's the staple for the Spartans, I feel, right now. Just the holding of the midfield. If they could do that, they'll just keep getting pressure, keep getting offense. The chances that Toronto has will be minimal. And right now, they're doing a good job at that, controlling the ball. It's back to Gio once again. I mean, the Spartans have had the ball almost all game. Gio off the back wall, unable to get it because Nezzy, a diving save, a diving effort. And now Toronto into offense.
And welcome to the blue side of the field. It feels like we haven't been here seemingly the entire time, but now look at this, developing play. Wesley looking for a double, it does have it, but it does not find its way through into the front of the net. It's Nez instead. This shot cleared out wide by Gio off the goal line. Rome up next to it, will take control. 50 out to the sidewall. Rome looking for a second touch, doesn't have it. Wesley up next, redirect from Kato to pop it up top. Wesley had it red, pass down towards Nez, intercepted by Tox. Only Kato left the beat, but Tox with no boost will not be able to challenge. Rome to the backboard. Wesley, one touch up high. No read from Tox. Gio shot low, saved out in front from Nez, but still in a threatening position in favor of the Spartans. Nez with plenty of space to work with. Up top, 50 to the ceiling. Kato, a little bit of control, but does give the ball and possession away towards Rome. Gets one touch over the top, and Kato able to retreat even off the demo of his... Rome was the one who was demoed. A little bit awkward for the defense, but they'll deal with it. And as we approach the halfway point, this really has felt like the Spartans and, refinding their confidence and no longer being comfortable with where they were sitting. It feels as though they want this one more than they wanted last one.
Yeah, but it's still 0-0 at the end of the day, so it's a tied game. Anyone can win this still. You can find a redirect, find a chance, find a Rome-type goal in Game 1, but on the Toronto side this time, really anything could happen. Nez, a good challenge. Rome tries to play it high. Wesley's going to have off the back wall. Tox unable to find it on target, and the clinicism a little bit away for the Spartans. They've done well to control the game. Now it's time to find the finisher. Still, Wesley, a good challenge into the corner, allows Tox into the play, looks one more, infield, Gio has it high, looks for it off the corner, Wesley has the touch, left wall, Rome, 0 boost, unable to get a touch on the ball. Wesley, a little bit of an opportunity, but cut out by Gio, who looks to follow immediately, pounces on that ball. Nezzy, though, he catches them out. Tox, diving save, he wasn't able to get it in the previous game. Now he does. Now it's off the back wall. Who's going to be there? Gio, into the air. Flip reset available. Goes low. It almost goes in off of a pinch in the midfield, but still 0-0 with a minute 20 remaining. Kato has it midfield. Gio tries to play it around, can't do so. Kato looks to follow, Rome into the corner. Wesley, 0 boost, gets the touch, and the Spartans able to hold on barely.
Now they're looking to possibly transition into offense. Good opportunity off the control from Tox. Kato trying to take it wide. Gio had it red. Rome to the backboard. Wesley a little bit awkward. It's weird for the defense in front. Tox has an opportunity. He'll float it up top, but Gio is not going to be able to crash in. He's too low on boost. Kato, the reset, the creativity, but Tox able to turn it out wide once more. Wesley touch towards Nez, taken away by him as well. Rome up top. to beat Wesley to the ball. Over the top of Kato as well. It's only Nez, but he is more than able to challenge successfully. Tox up high once more. Wesley and Kato a double off the sidewall. And the demo is going to open up an opportunity. It's off the post. Nez to save high. Wesley to clear out wide. A golden opportunity for the Spartans gone by the wayside. You got to wonder if they're able to still capitalize, though. They do have possession. And right now, the boost totals are a bit odd and low on the side of the 6, but they are able to get it clear. Only 15 to go. Anyone's ball game. Nez up next against Tox. He'll take it to the corner. Search of a pinch. Not going to find it. Team bump makes things awkward defensively. Rome exuding great control to clear out wide. Cannot get the ground pinch. Doesn't get the bump either. Wesley up top. Pass. Nez midfield. Denied by Gio. Ball still alive, however. Catamac trying to get it, but it's Rome to take towards the backboard. Tox is up top with the double. Not going to find it. Overtime in game 4.
And you feel like one of these would go in, but none of them have found the back of the net. It is 0-0 game 4, a big swing game for either team. If you go up 3-1, it's triple match point. You can tie up the series here if you're Toronto. You need to tie up the series here. You can't afford to lose this game. Can't afford for Spartans to get that momentum, that pressure back. Talks now, 100 boost, looks in field. Is anyone going to be there? If he just leaves it, bounces it on the floor. It's so dangerous. No one can make contact. And Talks has done it all himself off of a weird solo play in front of the net.
6. What just happened? 2 defensive misses. 2 massive defensive misses. And Wesley was just left awkward on the backboard. Had no choice but to try to challenge. At that point in time, it was simply too little too late. The Spartans are able to take it in what is another shutout. Now, I mean, that's every time they've won, the 6 have not scored, which is an impressive record for sure. But what do you even say about that play? The defense just fell apart.
Yeah, I mean, it was honestly more dangerous than you would think. The ball bouncing, faked out one, and then the second thought Rome would go for the ball, but he just didn't. He just faked it. Just complete composure on the side of the Grand Forks Spartans. Just walked the ball into the back of the net. Now, I said I wanted a bigger game from Tox, and he's done so here, able to get 400 on the board for himself. So many saves coming out from both teams, so many shots coming out from both teams. But at the end of the day, the one that falls is the one for the Spartans, up 3-1 in the series.
That is a shocking way for the Spartans to win a game, and for the 6, that's got to be devastating. That is very tough to have to concede in that fashion. Not just that, but you fought so hard to remain to get to overtime. You know, your defense really had to show up through all of regulation for that to occur. Now we find ourselves in game number 5 on Aquadome with the Spartans having the opportunity to close this series. Will they do it, or will the 6 stay alive? All up to the players. Tox trying to get an early shot, but Kato will be easily able to deny.
Yeah, I think finding an early goal here for Toronto is imperative as Wesley puts it top corner immediately. What we asked for, and he delivers a 1-goal lead for Toronto.
And great patience as well to draw out the challenge from Rome and then figure out where to put the ball behind him. Great job by Wesley, exuding patience and control in the offensive half. The Toronto 6 for the first time this series scoring first. And very early at that. That is massive for them to get some momentum back, start getting the confidence back as well, and rebuild the mental. Because, I mean, after all, you don't just have to win this game. You got to win the next one. And then after that, you still have to win a 3rd game straight against this Grand Forks Spartans team. Going to be a challenge, but it all starts right here. You got to take it 1 game at a time, and you got to take it 1 goal at a time. They will do it right now, being up 1-0.
Yeah, I mean, the Spartans now on the back foot. Last time they were on the back foot, weren't able to find an answer. We'll see if they can do so here. Maybe just trying to resuscitate the offense, you know, get some time, get some possession, some control over this ball, just slow it down a little more. As Tox now on the goal line, gets 50 by Kato, and it's off the post. Still a great bump from Kato, gets the goal for Nezi. What a bump from Kato, Mac.
That might be one of the most impeccable bumps I've ever seen. The squishy bump to send Gio to the stratosphere, and Nez is able to capitalize. That is an unreal play from Kato.
Yeah, I mean, Kato, Mac, he had 5 demos the game that they won. Extremely bump heavy that previous game. Maybe trying to do that now. Maybe trying to find the offense. And once again, if the offense is there and the defense isn't, it's just going to be a goal at the end of the day. Tox tries to find Geo, has it high. Nezzy though, 0 boost, takes his time though. This is really nice from Nezzy. Just forces out a bad touch from Rome. Wesley can now pop on that, but as I say that, Catomac can't get the save. The touch in front of net has not gone well. All of a sudden, the Spartans cut the lead in half.
And it was such a close call. Geo's shot looked like it was in a stable position, but Kato just cannot quite get there in time. The Spartans will get one on the board, and that is massive to start swinging momentum back into their favor. Right away, off the kickoff, it'll be Geo. Looking for an extra touch off the backboard, trying to set up a teammate, but Kato is able to deny. Wesley now, back downfield. Kato's got no boost, but still trying to stay close to the ball. Bumps Geo out of the play once more, looking for another bump perhaps, but cannot find it as he was boostless. Wesley can't even maintain possession. It's an overcommit that comes through on the side of the 6. However, Spartans are not able to break through as a result, just couldn't quite catch up to the ball, and the lead will remain in the hands of the 6.
Yeah, the 6 doing a decent job here at possession on defense. You know, Wesley, he took control of that ball, just 50s it into the corner. Now Kato's safe with 100, converted into offense, and all of a sudden it's a goal. 3-1, Toronto has broken down on midfield.
In that mess of a 4-player commit in the corner, Kato walked away with the boost and just took it straight over to Wesley. Wesley did his job, sent it home. 3-1 now for the 6. This is a different looking team. The offense looks fired up. They look motivated, and they look like they're going to make it 4-1 as well. Kato getting his first on the board.
I mean, getting that kickoff there relatively seals the game. A 3-goal lead in this tier and this high of a level of play just feels like too much, but if there was a team to break it down, it would be the Spartans, given how offensively mechanical they are. They can create a goal out of anywhere, anything, any amount of boost. They got it, but still, on the side of Toronto, this is a great way to bounce back after how you lose game 4. Still opportunity again, 5-1 Toronto, just making goals out of nowhere. A passing play midfield, Tox caught out, wasn't ready for Wesley's positioning. 5-1.
What a dominant showing from the 6. Now, you'll wonder where this was for the past few games, but I guess it doesn't really matter now. They needed this kind of win, and they needed it right away. They're down to their last life in the series. To put up 5 goals before we even eclipse the halfway point is astounding. And you gotta wonder, is it because of the 6 or is it because of the Spartans? And I gotta say, it's gotta be because of the 6, because the Spartans are still fighting offensively, and there's still plenty of time for them to answer back.
Yeah, they could make this happen. 2 minutes 30, 3-goal lead. You know, I said it before, it feels like a 3-goal lead is insurmountable, but anything's possible for the Spartans team. They are so good offensively, so good at turning up the heat when they need to. We'll see if they can do it here. Geo into the air, 100 boost, off the quarter, Tox with the pre-jump, unable to get it though. Rome has to play control, he does, takes it into the air, 70 boost, reset, tries to go under, unable to do so. Now, Nezzy has it off the corner, looks one more, gets past 2, Kato shot, denied by Rome, and you know, he's building a wall back there, trying to fortify it. Still, he breaks his way through, 2 minutes remaining, almost a goal for the Spartans. Wesley takes it away though, Tox tries to force a 50, can't get it through. Till now, Kato takes his time, and once again, it feels like Toronto's playing it into their corner quite well. You know, just keep it away from the front of the net. As I say, that Nezzy to Kato in front of the net. A little bit of Caster's curse. Geo, he tries to get it around, but with 1 minute 30 remaining, you need one now, and will they get one now? No. And Geo unable to make contact. It's going to be a goal the other way. Never mind, it's high.
There's the Caster curse.
Caster curse is unable to find the right comms. As I say that, it's off the post. Nobody able to find the back of the net. Tox tries to play it in field. No one's there. Geo looks for it. Back wall, double no. Tox shot off target. Rome his touch of 50 in front of net. Tox needs a touch to stall. He does stall. Wesley just plays it low. And I feel like the big factor for this Toronto team, other than that miss, is Wesley has been stepping up. He's looked like one of the better players in the lobby this game, when he really, at least MMR-wise, should be the worst here.
I can't deny that whatsoever. He's got 2 goals. He's got an assist. He's got 2 saves. The whole team for the 6 has shown up this game. If you look at the stat sheet, which we'll all see after this game, they have filled it out entirely. But yes, to your point, Wesley has absolutely stepped up this game, and they needed it desperately. 3-1 down in the series. They needed a bit of life to show that they can still compete, and they can still even win this series. They're taking it one game at a time, and this has been a heck of a game to start out with. 5-2 the current scoreline, and with mere seconds left, it is not likely to change, but it may. Regardless, it will not change the result of the game. This is going to be a game win in favor of the Toronto Six, and they now have their second game of the series, their first in what will have to be 3 straight if they want to claim the finals.
And I said Spartans in 6. We'll see if they can close it out in Game 6 as we approach the ground. They're going to keep it up for a while. Never mind, they put it down eventually. Nezzy getting the MVP, but really everyone contributing on this Toronto team. Cadomac had some great demos at the start of the game to open up the offense. Wesley playing the midfield quite well, able to take his solo play opportunity at the start of the game as well. Nezzy just all around double cycle for him. He just makes it happen for this Toronto team. 2 subs in the finals, able to take it to Game 6. We'll see if they can take it to 7. Just waiting on the next game. And I mean, if you look at Rome, 5 shots, 0 goals, just was denied completely by the Toronto team.
Yeah, and not just that, but by the woodwork too. There were quite a few post shots coming through from the Spartans. The accuracy, a little bit less than what is typically desired coming through from them, and less than what we would typically expect. But regardless of that, it has still been an incredible showing from both the Six and the Spartans. The Six and the Spartans. Just a bit of a ridiculous series that we're seeing now. We're going to find ourselves in Neo Tokyo, and that was a dominant game from the Six. They put up 5 when the whole series they had only 3. So I don't even know what to think about this series right now. Toronto does have the momentum, but obviously the Spartans at any point in time could just pop off.
Yeah, it feels like Toronto, though, they need a goal early once again. You know, once they get that goal, it's just domino effect. They start mounting momentum, start mounting pressure. They lock in a little more. The mental spec, the comms start rejuvenating there. It's a lot more clarity on the field. Cato now tries to get one early off the back wall to Wesley. Can he do it? Double tap, no. Denied by Gio, who has it out in midfield. Now 50. Rome does well. Rome able to follow as well. 0 boost shot. Top corner, no. Denied by the woodwork. And we said it plagued them last game, and the disease has not left. There needs to be a doctor. Wesley now has it to the right. Wesley passed another through midfield. Gets a 50. Looks for one more. Double tap. Off the sidewall, Cato unable to get the touch on target. Nezzy backflipping. This game is looking uncharacteristically uncanny. Nobody able to get the shot on target. Nobody able to really find offense yet. It's just back and forth, counterattack after counterattack. The Toronto Six, though, 0-0, looking to hold on to their tournament life.
It's been chaos so far between the post hits, the attempted doubles off side walls or corner walls. Certainly, as you had said perfectly, an uncharacteristic game thus far with the random misses and backflips, but here we are still locked up at 0, but all the Cato's in a rough spot up against Tox. A great defensive play, and Cato's even going to be able to collect mid-boost. Does have to avoid the bumps coming through from Tox from behind. Is not able to do so. Rome's going to take their time. However, Nez is there first, popped up. Gio does have a clear out wide. Rome's going to work all the way back downfield, but Cato is there first. It's floating towards Napa. Gio will deny. Nez looking for the pre-jump, does have the read, but Wesley cannot commit. Tox will take out wide. 2 minutes gone by in this game. Big opportunity for Cato. Has Wesley. Wesley elects to go for the bump, the flick. Oh, the top comes through. Great call by the Six to go for the physical play, and they reap the rewards.
Yeah, I think earlier in this series, they wouldn't have that level of clarity. There would be a little confusion between Wesley and Cato. Who's going to take the ball? Who's going to take the boost? Who's going to go for the flick? But at the end of the day, they figure it out. Wesley makes the selfless play, looks for the demo. He gets one, clears the way for Cato, who puts it top shelf every day, every week. Now, on the side of Toronto, you look to take it to 7. You look to take it in 7. Right now, the Spartans need to find the offense. They need to stop hitting the post. Can Tox do it here? He looks in field, maybe trying to get a bump, maybe trying to find a pass. But Cato's done so well there. Wesley now, other end, 50 with Gio, just forces his way through to make it 2-0.
This is getting exceptionally interesting. 2-0 now for the Six. Wesley just winning a simple 50 and dunking it home. Half the game to go. The Six find themselves within striking distance of Champions Field. This is unreal what we are witnessing. All they have to do is either hold or expand upon their already, frankly, massive lead. 2 goals at this level is a giant lead, but anything can happen. The Spartans just need 1 in order to start getting the momentum back. The question is, can they make it happen?
Yeah, on the Spartan side, they just looked a little uninspired so far. I mean, they had a couple opportunities earlier in the game, but right now they're just giving away the ball. Rome with a heavy touch there. It's going to allow Kato into the play, who misses. They needed that to go off target. They've gotten it off target. Tox has the save. Now down the other end, Tox looks for it. 0 boost, 50 in front of net. Roman Tox double commit. Geo grabs up the 100. He's going to need it to stop Wesley. He can't stop Wesley, but it's not top corner. Tox has it denied. Nez now, touch left side. He's going to be there first. Rome unable to make contact though. And once again, it feels like the Spartans a little bit nervous right now. Unable to get the touches they want in midfield. Now on the other end, Nezzy puts it mid. Wesley top corner denies him. Once again, the post. Now the greatest enemy for Toronto, the 4th defenders, has denied them over and over and over again.
And now the post ends up going against them too. Rome's able to find the back of the net. That shot careening off the top left corner. Talks out the extra touch, and simply Rome won the 50. Now will bounce its way through, and the Spartans have more than enough time in Game 6 to possibly claim this game. But with a minute 15, they are still down, and there is still work to be done. Tox looks to start it. Nez to intercept off the bump. Over the top of Geo. Only Rome to beat, but Rome shows great control and great defense as well, as they will kick it out wide, and Geo will be up next.
Yeah, and I love to see Rome get that save there. He looked so good at the beginning and middle of the series at getting those saves, taking away the pressure from Toronto, and then all of a sudden it just stopped coming through. Toronto just found the back of the net over and over again. So it's great to see Rome get back on defense. Now on offense, he looks for the back wall. Wesley, he'll have it away, looks right wall. Who's going to be there first? Kato has them beat. In midfield, Geo's gonna have it. 70 boost. What can he do with it? Flip reset under. No, denied. Rome now tries to get it around Kato. Kato, huge dunk though. Relieves so much pressure. Wesley now big touch. Rome just has to take it back. 100 boost. Hits it down the length of this right wall. Who's gonna be? It's gonna be Tox with time. 100 boost. They need to make something in the final 20. He gets it around 1. Nezzy in the air denies them. Now Geo, his touch off the back wall. Wesley, 50 boost. They need to find the offense. They need to get dunks, but right now, the only thing they can find is a save. Rome has it away. Tox now into the air. Who's going to be up first? Nezzy, awkward touch. He can't make it. Yes, he can. Denies Geo on 0 seconds. Catomac, awkward, backwards, gets demoed. Who's going to be there? Tox keeps it alive. Rome, 100 boost into the air, looks right side. Nezzy tries to get the touch around. Kato tries to drop it. Geo keeps it alive in front of net. No! Double commit at the end, denies the Spartan the comeback, and now Game 7 on the horizon.
This is unprecedented. Tonight has been a night of domination when it comes to these grand finals. Done in 4 games, done in 5 games. It looked like it would have been going that way for the Spartans, but instead we have found Game 7. Champions Field coming up next. And what a series this has been. What a comeback and turnaround for the 6. They fell out of it, and yet somehow they are just winning games, but they're winning them pretty convincingly. The shot numbers double that of the Spartans. Last game, putting up 5 goals. This time 2-1, and they had a 2-0 lead. Yes, they gave up the 1, but they were still able to hold, and this is the series that we all wanted. Let's be totally honest. This is what we wanted, not just for us selfishly as casters, but for the fans as well. This is what we love to see.
Will the 6 win it in 7, or will the Spartans deny them? It's the second time in the finals today for Toronto in Academy. They couldn't get it done. They go further here. Can they find the win? Kato tries to find it around Rome, unable to do so. A great air dribble to get it around. Now Kato's bumped off the post. They finally find it off the post early in the game. They get the lead.
That is giant for the Spartans to get started early. Rome bumping Kato. A little bit of his own medicine being tasted there on the side of Kato. Got the bumps a couple games back, or I should say last game. But instead, it is a bump coming through from Rome this time around. 1-0 right away as Kato looks to answer back right away. It'll be Geo up top. met by Nez. It's Wesley out in front. Talks to turn it out wide. Nez, infield pass again. Wesley, to leave it for Cato. That's an immediate response from the 6.
And what a passing play. You see the composure. Wesley has stepped up so huge in this series. Just gets the touch around Rome. Rome thought he could go for it. Wesley cuts in. What a control touch to give the tap into Cato to tie up the game, tie up the series. It's game 7. Who will win? Who will fall? The kickoff goes the way of Rome. He has 0 boost. Tries to careen it around that corner. It talks. Big 50. Can't get it there. Gio, midfield. Wesley leaves it for Cato, who takes it high. Gio has the touch. Wesley now takes his time. High boost for him. He looks in field. He's been popping off. He looks for Nezzy. Nezzy grabs the 100, looks for a demo. Gio does so well on 0 just to control the ball. Allows his teammate into the play. Cato, big 50. It goes in front of net. Nezzy shot denied by Gio once again, who's on 0. He needs to find boost. Now on the other end, Wesley denies the midfield. Gets it past. Open net. Has he done it? Yes, he has. Wesley steps up to the plate.
I mean, look at Wesley go, winning a 50 here against Gio and then taking the angle up against Tox off the respawn. Massive goal coming in from Wesley. The 6 somehow with 2 subs are playing out of their minds. They're playing their hearts out, and they have the lead in game 7, but not if Rome has anything to say about it. Shot denied by Wesley. Double commit does come through from Katamaka and Wesley. Tox will take control, leaves it off for Gio. Tox looking for bumps. It is awkward for the defense, but Wesley will turn out towards the corner once more. Rome stealing the corner boost, will turn on the ball as well. Taking control, up towards Gio. Can't find his teammate. Katamaka up next off the sidewall. Nez up against Tox. 50 off the ceiling. Here comes Gio. Shot back of the net. Tie ball game once more.
If you're the Spartans here, you could easily get shut out for the next 3 minutes if you weren't careful. But Gio immediately finds the back of the net. First opportunity for him in a while, but he makes it 2-2 in game 7. Once again, it's important for the Spartans. You can't feel nervous. You can't allow the Toronto pressure, the Toronto's 50s to get to you, as they almost do off a kickoff. Nezzy now, opportunity, puts it high. Tox is going to be there, passes it to Rome, who's bumped though. Rome able to stay on it, but changed his angle, wasn't able to put it on target anymore. But with 2-2, 3 minutes remaining, it's anyone's ball game.
This is a literal coin flip. I have 0 idea who's going to end up taking this, nor do I know how. This has been an unbelievable series, one that will absolutely be in the hearts and minds of all of us, no matter how it ends up going. This series will last in our memories for a long time. But right now, both teams are still trying to compete for the lead. Whenever one scores, it's been a quick response in kind. As we approach the halfway mark, it's Katamaka to try to start up the offense for the 6. Instead, pass from Nez to Cato, intercepted. Wesley shot, open net, make it 3-2 for the 6. Wesley really hitting up late in this series.
Wesley has done it all for Toronto here, finds the back of the net once again. Some great leaving of the ball, some great 50s, some great demos coming through from the supporting cast. But right now, Wesley able to put Toronto up 1 goal in game 7. Tox now off the sideball, looks for himself, tries to 50 it. Cato, touch, doesn't go past Tox here. Gio looks for it high, 0 boost though, tries to force it mid. No one's gonna be there. Now Cato lets the ball past him. Tox takes his time, gets it past 1. He's been playing it well around people, but just not able to put it in dangerous spots as of late. Rome looks for it. 50, midfield, Wesley there once again, finds it mid. Rome has it away, and with 2 minutes remaining, the Spartans need one. They need one soon. It feels like this could be the opportunity, but it just goes long. Gio unable to find it on target. Was that the opportunity for the Spartans?
It felt like it had to be. I mean, that's an odd inaccuracy. He had a net to shoot at, but still just sent it up high. And now as a result, it's Wesley on the counterattack trying to get a 50 in the corner. It'll be Tox. Now Katamaka up next, up against Gio. Circling back even on low boost. Infield pass down low. Nez is up, but turned away by Rome. Wesley up against Tox to the backboard, trying to drop down for the double. Gets the demo instead. Shot extremely close to going through for Wesley once more. Instead, it's Nez and Gio 50ing extremely neutrally at the midfield line. Up next is Wesley to 50 downfield once more. Cato taking control, and it's a little bit of a miscommunication. The 6 will retreat. 60 seconds to go. The Spartans, they need something, and they need it sooner rather than later.
Yeah, it was great to deny Wesley there. You couldn't let the lead get to 4-2, but now you need to start converting it into offense. Gio finds the pass. Is that the missing piece? No, Wesley cuts it out immediately. Great awareness from him. Now Kato, he gets the duck. Off the ceiling, looks one more. Tox is going to have it. Takes his time. Great composure from him out of defense. Looks for the 50. Can't get it around Wesley, who does well, but Rome shot. No! He needed that one on target. Now on the other end, Tox denies them. Tox has been doing so well this game, but is it all for naught? With 30 seconds remaining, Wesley just takes it back to his own corner to stall time. Now Rome, he has time. 70 boost, looks for the pass to Gio. Shot, 50, Gio once again, shot on target. Kato has to do well. He's done well there to get it around. Wesley, touch, off the back wall. No one there yet. For the Spartans, Tox back to Rome. They're putting together a nice passing play with 0 seconds on the horizon. They need something now. Tox to Gio, fakes it. Rome, shot, off the post and out! No one's there. Toronto has it in 7.
I don't know how, but the Toronto 6, out of nothing, down 3-1 in the series. They were shut out 3 out of the first 4 games, have fought back, won 3 straight games, and take home the world-class Major 2 finals. I'm beyond stunned, and let's just be entirely honest here. Wesley, you had mentioned, based on MMR, based on salary, should have been out of the 6 players ranked 6th. He showed up, put up near 600 points in that final game. Didn't just show that he deserves to be, playing alongside the big dogs, but showed that he is one of them. That is a massive performance, showing up when it mattered most for his team, and ultimately helps push them across the finish line. The 6 end up taking it home.
Yeah, he's got my vote for MVP for sure. He popped off that game. What a series. Taking it 3-2, the final game. 3-1 comeback for Nezzy, Kato, and Wesley. Able to figure it out with subs. It doesn't matter. They win Major 2. Similar story to World Class last time. What a play.
And that win right there, based on point totals for the season, will propel them into a playoff spot easily. Incredible showing. Not just the fact that they were down 3-1. Not just that when they got their first win, they were down 2-0 in that game. They were on the verge of going a sweeping point against them. Fought back in game 3 to win it. Then go on and rattle off 3 straight games. Games 6 and 7 being 1-goal games. I do not understand how, but the 6, despite everything being against them, take home this series in the most dramatic way possible. And that will springboard them into a higher playoff seed. I'm not going to do the math right now because I don't know how many points everything is worth at the moment. But that will easily get them into the top 4. Heck, that might just propel them up to number 1. I have no idea. Regardless, all credit has to be given to the 6th. And Mogi's been saying it. We need to say it. 6 in 7 here tonight.
Yeah. I mean, what a series, but on the side of the Spartans, that post is going to haunt them. At the end of the game, they had 3 go off the post, just unable to get it past the 4th defender at times. Shot opportunities, they were tough angles, but at some point, it felt like one of them needed to fall if you wanted to win that series. Unable to have the ice here, as Toronto able to win it in Major 2 in 7. What a series, man. What a series.
I'm beyond stunned. That was fantastic. Condry, you got any shout outs or any possible self promos you want to make before we end up wrapping up tonight?
No self promos, but just want to say Toronto played incredible that series. That was a great watch. Same to the Spartans.
I couldn't agree more. As for myself, shout out Nuki, running production all night long. Thank you for being here with us and for helping put on a fantastic show. Condra, thank you very much for not just casting this, but you cast a professional with me as well. Great time, easy to work with. Shout out Boss for jumping in for the Superstar Finals. I've been McMaster. That's been Condra. Nuki's been Prod. Shout out to all the winners of the night, and we'll be back for playoffs in a few weeks. Have a great night, everyone.
Have a great night.